and welcome! Welcome to Master Swan Open number 88, our monthly 4.7k MMR tournament, so mostly lower Masters players. And boy, do we have a broadcast today. So before I start these intros, I will just put a small disclaimer that things are on fire, and by that I mean my casting tool is broken. So half the tools we normally use on stream are broken, which means I don't even know if I have intros. That's why I wanted to just put it out there. So yeah, we'll see how it goes, I guess. Anyway, in the top right corner of Leylines we have the first of our players, the first in our series. It is none other than our blue Terran. Hold on, are we doing the whole thing? I have to look it up. Give me a second. Give me just a second. I can do this. Where is it? Where is it? It's still not posted. Oh, there you go. The imitation innovation, the Teja from Asia, the Melter May of MMA is not as funny as Bunny. The Tyrant Ayagus, the one fine young Ryang, the Kelazur from Singapore, the TY Chicken Pie, the 4GG, yeah. He's more meme than dream, the slightly more crappy happy, the trash flash with no cash, the M to the K to the P, his Marine King Pag, the captain of the Rain Pain Train, the lean mean keen machine, the immature cure, the not as smart as heart, the young adult poet. He's more of a beauty than beastie cutie. Co-creator of the Daishi Bay, the massa from NASA. We couldn't find a pan for Bian, La Creme de la Creme, the turmeric coffee, and the Willy Wardy Wardy. That's a new one. It is Yakuzaku. And no intros. Hold on. As things are actually happening, so I have to like keep an eye on what's going on. Also, across the map we have our Zerg player. It's a newcomer as far as I'm aware to our tournament. This is a red Zerg player called Cute. The silence is deafening. Anyway, for those who don't know what the heck just happened, back in the day, because Yakuzaku intros were usually like extra long, and I mean like 2 minutes long in general, and Steel Mode kind of picked up that meme, and whenever he would introduce Yakuzaku, he would just, you know, every time he would just pick a new nickname. So yeah, he ended with like an entire list of nicknames for Yakuzaku that he would read every time. So there you go. That's a bit of a blast from the past. And what has been happening in the game? Well, we have a 2-on-1 from Yakuzaku, we have some Hellions on the way, the Reaper has been going around the bases of the Zerg. Meanwhile, our Zerg player is going for Banelings, so no, just the regular Link Bane will be coming. And hold on, I have to find out if I can make Panther happen. It's very important. Let's see. Guys, prepare your ears because I have no idea how loud this is. Okay, we can kinda do this. Hold on. I'm gonna try to do this between the games. Also, we now know that Cute is a German player. There you go. I was just updated by Light VIP, so yeah, he is a German player. Meanwhile, we have some Zerglings going across the map. The wall is kind of a wall, but not really. Like this is a big hole over there. But I mean, Yaku is trying. Meanwhile, where did the drop go? I'm sure I've seen a drop coming, didn't I? I think it, yeah, I think it just decided against it. But now we have a move out with the Hellions. Hellions joining the Reaper across the map. Ooh, the Dragons are trying to get on top of them, but they are getting burned. There are so many Hellions over here. It doesn't look like that will be happening. The Queens, only 2 of them, not quite able to stop it, but they are able to slow down the Hellions, but nonetheless they get into the minion line. 11 drones, 12 drones, a lot of BBQ will be happening. The drones are not being pulled away either, so yeah, the Hellions are having a time in this mineral line. Yeah, and we stopped with 23 drones dead, but now we have this Liberator here as well helping. As obviously Cute was busy dealing with the Hellions, the Liberator was able to get settled on this base. 24 drones total will die in this engagement. 34 Zerglings as well, so yeah, that was a really nice harassment there for Yakuzaku. But our Zerg player is not giving up yet. He does have 4 bases now. He has to rebuild the drone count though, and that will be painful. What is happening in the chat? Holy hell, this man has more titles than a medieval emperor. I mean, I would like to remind you that he's called Emperor Yakuzaku on Twitter, so you know. Just saying. But yeah, that is like a long running meme in the CranKy Ducklings. Oh, the captain of the Terran High Command is here. That's good. I wouldn't want to play a tournament without the Terran High Command present. It looks like Yako is setting on the 3rd base, but also, you know, getting his forces ready for potentially a move out. For now, he's just securing the base, but yeah, we have some medivacs loaded. He can use those forces at any time, and I mean, he probably should, because I mean, Zerg has been weakened by all the harassment, so maybe it would be a good idea to just go across the map, but there's also an option to just, you know, take it slow and just take the advantage there. At the same time, we have Cute taking the Hydra then. So we will be going into Lingbane Hydra for now, I guess. We'll see if he goes into like Lurkers or something. Isaac walking forward. Those are just Marines. There's nothing else here to support them. Of course, they do have medivacs, so they won't be dying anytime soon. Ooh, this is a kill on the hatchery at the top, not a cancel. Unfortunately for Cute, he does have some creep speed, so he is alerted whenever this this marine army is going around the map. So he's able to rotate his forces, but he has to be very careful there. He's working on Hydras now. He has a few banelings here, so I don't think this marine force should really be able to do any damage. It's mostly like, as long as Cute pays attention, he should be able to keep up with the Marines. The Hydras are doing some damage on the Medivac, but they don't kill it off, and at the same time this is happening, another force goes towards the top base, and once again this is a kill, not a cancel of the base. Looks like Cute has to split attention. There is a drop in his main base, but the Queens should be able to deal, they dealt with the medivacs, I should say. But unfortunately, yeah, the drones will be dying there. At the same time, this army by Yaku is still set up at the top, so the base was not able to be retaken. The Lynx are slowly chewing away at those marines, but so many of them had to die before that was dealt with. Meanwhile, the Hydras are trying to clean up the army at the top, but this is a bit of a big task for them. And yeah, I don't think Cute is taking this base. He is trying to take this base at the top, which is very ambitious. But he's struggling to defend the bases that he already owns. Oh, the tank is a bit out of position and the Zerglings will be able to snipe it. But another hatchery falls for our Zerg player. He's trying to amass forces. The upgrades are also on the way, which will definitely be helpful with this engagement, but he has to be careful about how he engages it. Trickling the units into this army is probably not the ideal. So yeah, our Zerg player is trying to gather all the units in one place, get them ready, and then we'll try to break this siege. Meanwhile, Yaku rallying more forces across the map. That base actually did finish at the top. Very interesting. It doesn't seem like Yaku has spotted it. But that's, I mean, you could probably use it for mining, maybe counter, like Cute is making Zerglings, but I think he's just like, you know, has the hatcheries grouped up. Unless he tries to like, you know, rally the Zerglings into the bases of Yakuzaku, that can work, definitely. Now, our Zerg player is trying to break the siege. Cute is rolling Banelings and Zerglings into the army, but there are too many tanks here, too many marines. GG is caught, and Yakuzaku will be taking game number 1. There you guys, I muted myself, but yeah, we have fanfare now, kind of. I had to go for a bit of a workaround, but at least fanfare will be there. I mean, we couldn't have a cast without it. And after the next game, I will try to figure out if I can maybe get the score on screen, potentially. But for the time being, we'll just have to remember whoever won the series, whoever won the game. So bear with me. But in the meantime, we are here on King's Cove LE, where we look at the base of our once again blue Terran. This time I won't go for the entire list, but it is the CranKy Ducklings Terran, the one and only Yakuzaku. There you go. Let me know if that is too loud. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the red Zerg player from Germany. It is cute. There you go. At least we have the fanfare. Yeah, I assume Yakuzaku will once again go for similar build, so I'll probably Reaper expand into 2-1-1, into Hellions, into Liberator. That is kind of the go-to of Yakuzaku. Meanwhile, I didn't quite get to see the opening of Cute, so we'll see how it goes. It is a hatch first, as I mean it typically is versus a Terran. Yeah, Move Deception is from the last tournament that I casted, but unfortunately again casting tool kinda died on me, so I will have to get that sorted eventually. For those who don't know, I guess I should mention that on stream as well, because that is kind of, you know, news that you should be aware of. Casting tool is no longer supported, and I mean it has been like, how do I put it? Like, Pressure has said before that like he doesn't really have time to maintain it anymore, so like he'll only like, you know, answer questions now and then, but as of the end of November, I want to say, or even later than that, like he just completely stopped support for casting tool. So yeah, we'll have to figure out a way to fix it ourselves, I guess. Unfortunately. We have this SCV patrolling on the third base, so Cute won't be able to take it this fair. SCV, SCV, what are you doing? There was an interesting pathing there. The Reaper comes to help and will be able to deny this third base. The drone just barely is saved on the extractor. Reaper will be dealt with? Maybe? Question mark? It looks like he just barely escapes. Those are slow Zerglings, so they're not able to catch up to the Reaper entirely, but it looks like it's enough to chase it away for the base to be taken. Meanwhile, as we saw previously, actually I'm saying that this is a 1-1-1, I think, this time. Yeah, going for a 1-1-1 instead. Don't have a second reaction on the way. Also, what is happening? I see this flashing on the map, and like, it's so distracting. Look at the minimap. It's so distracting. Anyway, our Zerg player was able to take that third base and is currently focusing on the economy, droning up, getting queens out, and I mean, he will need those queens in case those Hellions are coming, and they sure are. I see that the chat is mostly discussing their ladder results and like their ladder, let's say adventures. So it's not exactly win rate, but like the chat is talking about how everybody has like the weakest matchup, their weakness in the play. And I mean that is definitely true, as we do have Captainfisch in the chat who's discussing one of our stronger players in the tournament, and he's dreading facing him later on in the tournament, potentially. And ooh, we also have a switch up from our Zerg player as well, as we're going for Roaches this time. No Hydras. Those Roaches will be upgraded as well, as we have both evolutions. Evolution Chamber already out. No Lair yet though, and there isn't one on the way, so Roach speed will be a bit farther off. And I mean, the roaches will definitely help dealing with all these Hellions, and again, there will be a lot of Hellions. The Liberator is already on the way as well. And we'll see if Cute can defend against it better than the last game. I mean, he already has spores in every base, so except the furthest. So he already has the spores, so at least he has the tools to deal with the Liberator. We will see if he will be able to use them. Tries to kill Epileptic Zerg. Yeah, I mean, look. There is a warning on this game. Meanwhile, the Hellions are coming, but there are Queens on the ramp, and Zerglings are flooding in as well. They catch few of the Hellions, so nicely done there by Cute, and Yaku is trying to find a nice spot there in the mineral line to protect most of his units, but the Roaches are now out, and they will be trying to chase this army. That said, Yaku is still able to slip into the bases. The drones in the natural are in danger. And the Hellions do go in. The Roaches are on the chase, so I don't think the losses will be as big as last time, but still that is a lot of drones dead. And where is the Liberator? Oh, the Liberator's died. It was just dealt with as well, but yeah, I think the Liberator was in the main base. Yeah, the Spore was repositioned, but even then, clearly Liberator was able to take a lot of the drones as well. 18 drones dead in total. So, I mean, not as bad as last time, but it's still quite painful loss for our Zerg player. But that said, we are on quite even workers. So, overall, it's not all that bad. The Roaches have definitely helped in this defense. It's time for Yakuzaku to take his third base. Flying over the command center now. He also has some army to protect it, just in case a few tanks are out. Meanwhile, Cute is double expanding. So we have 2 more hatcheries on the way to the total of 5. Still worth making roaches too, and working on the upgrades for them. Speed is about to be done, and +2 or +1? +2, okay. Cool, you know your Zerg units, you know your Zerg upgrades. +2 for both Carapace and attack, and the range attack is on the way. Yaku also taking his 4th, so both of our players focusing on macro, focusing on expanding right now. Meanwhile, Yaku sending out another force, another drop. He's ready with his roaches. He's trying to find out which direction Yakuzaku will be coming from. The creep spread is okay, but it's not quite far enough to give him enough information about the Medivac's movement right now. He just knows that something is coming. Potential. Oh, whoa, what is happening? Oh, okay. We'll take a look just as a second, as Yaku is actually moving in with this marine force, but there are so many roaches here that I think those marines actually won't have a good time here, and they have to be picked up. They have to leave. This time Cute was well prepared for whatever was coming his way. Ah yes, good. We will be sitting in the sound of notification for a while, huh? Anyway, firstly, a shout out to Marauder, who has subscribed with Prime, but also a shout out to Gotitin Good? Yes, that's how I'm gonna read it. For giving out 10 community subs. Whereas Yaku once again tries to go in, but yeah, Cute is on point. His creep spread has reached far enough that he's able to follow these movements. Ooh, the Medivac, the full Medivac dies to a Spore. Yakuzaku not paying attention. Meanwhile, at the other side of the map, also we have another force of Marines and tanks, but yeah, with that Medivac dying, Yakuzaku is not sure if he can actually attack. So yeah, this game is going very differently here for our Zerg player. I mean, for our Terran too, but yeah, like last game it looked like Zerg was constantly, you know, struggling to get things going, but in this game he's playing so much better. But yeah, to continue what I was saying, it looks like we also have a bonus, like gift subs from Valorant, with 3 more community subs as well. So yeah, shout out to our gifters. Shout out to our subs. Yeah, and I hope you enjoy your emotes, as we do have a lot of really nice emotes. Yeah, Yaku is still trying to poke. He made another double Medivac drop, although I don't think that was full Medivacs. He's trying to make something happen, but the main push was actually denied. Yaku did go back home and decided to expand instead. So yeah, we have a very different game on our hands this time. Meanwhile, Cute is working on the lurker then, so the lurkers are coming. Ooh, another full Medivac goes down, and the second one is in danger. The Hydras are helping so much with cleaning up those drops. But now Yakuzaku decides to move out. The tanks are here, and so is the bio. Meanwhile, the main army of the Zerg is busy dealing with those Medivacs, so they won't be here to defend his base. Drones are forced to be evacuated. But now this is a nice setup for Yakuzaku. There are a lot of siege tanks here, and Cute has to be careful about how he engages these. The first lurkers are on the way. That said, I don't know if Yaku has seen the lurkers, as the first morphing one was just at the edge of the scan. But he will see them now, as he sees that egg. Yeah, he's focusing the egg, and he will be able to deny the lurker that was morphing on the ramp. But it also triggers the counterattack from the Zerg. With that number of tanks though, that's not really great for Cute. And there are more Terran reinforcements coming. As this is happening, Cute is just taking more bases, expanding farther away from his setup. But Yaku is pushing forward. The Marines now are in range of this frontal base and will take down the hatchery. Once again, Cute is trying to go down the ramp. He's trying to break this siege, but there are still so many tanks spread out all around this low ground. Lurkers have not now dug in, so it won't be easy for Yaku to go up this ramp, but I'm not sure if he really has to. Like, he's basically sieging, and with the vision he's even able to take down some of the lurkers. Oh, actually even all of them. He's just in range of all of the lurkers. All of the lurkers go down. Yeah, there are no more lurkers on the map. GG is called, and Yakuzaku will be taking the series 2-0. Yeah. GG's to Yakuzaku, as he will be taking that 2-0 score. And nicely done by Cute as well, because this second game was so much stronger. Like, he did really well, denying all the drops from Yaku. And yeah, with that, he was able to like bring us a really good game number 2. The lurkers unfortunately didn't quite work. Like, I feel like Cute wasn't like exactly aware of the good position for them, to put it that way, and the tanks were unfortunately able to deal with them quite easily. But yeah, this was a really good game from Cute. So GG's. Thank you for participating. As today we only have single elimination bracket, but you are still eligible. You are still eligible for the random raffle. So if you are in the chat, then make sure to stick around to to see if you won extra $5. Meanwhile, we can take a moment to look at the bracket. And as I said, we do have a single elimination bracket today. Don't mind all the notifications popping up. I had to restart OBS a few times. But yeah, we have our bracket now, and we have a few familiar names in the bracket. We have Captainfisch, of course, who is also in the chat. We have Ulochkin. We have Dave Litos, who's also known as Pikachu. We have DizzyDwarf once again. We have Beast. Meanwhile, in the bottom bracket, SooThSayeR and Zigur, and it looks like SooThSayeR took Zigur 2-0. Zigur is definitely one of the favorites of our amateur tournament, so very nicely done there by SooThSayeR. So Captainfisch, you will not be facing Zigur, in fact, even if you win your series, as Zigur is already out of the tournament. Meanwhile, Yakuzaku now has his opponent, and it will be Undertaker. Undertaker is a Taiwanese Zerg. There you go. I don't think he has played in our tournaments before, or it might have been under a different name. I will be checking that after the tournament. But yeah, as far as I know, this is a new player to our tournaments, so I'm curious to find out how they will play, and that will be another ZVT as far as we know. But with that, it looks like our players will need a moment to set up, so we will go for a quick break, and right after that, we will be back with Yakuzaku versus Undertaker. Be right back. And welcome to Master Swan Open number 88. We are currently in the quarterfinals, and we have another series for you. We are on Abusari for map 1, and it is the purple Terran player in the top left corner. It is from CranKy Ducklings, from Singapore, Yakuzaku. And across the map we have his opponent. It is the yellow Zerg player from Taiwan. It is Undertaker. Oh yeah, we have another series here in our tournament. This is the second round. This is the quarterfinals of our monthly 4.7k MMR tournament. And I mean, I assume Yakuzaku will go for more or less the same playstyle as he did in previous series, so the 1-1-1 into Hellion Liberator. Meanwhile, Undertaker is starting with a Hatch first, as most Zergs would in a ZVT. Hatchka's pool it is. So yeah, so we will see how that goes. Meanwhile, I really like Captainfisch's reaction in the chat as he heard that he doesn't have to play Zigur today. He was like, oh, like he was like, wait, what? Like he was like happy, and it's like, no wait, that means, oh no, I don't think I like that. So yeah, that was a good reaction there for Captainfisch. But yeah, if he does go into the high rounds, he will not have to play Ziggur, but another player instead. And well, we have an SCV scout from Yakuzaku, but Abyssal being as big map as it is, this SCV is not in time to stop the third base from going down. He does of course check the third base location, but the hatchery has already been started. Meanwhile, Yakuzaku going on with his build with a Reaper expand into that 1-1-1. Reaper will try to poke at the Zerg bases, but not really diving in for any major damage for the time being. He turns purple. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember. I think Yaku plays with purple fairly often because, see, purple was Milk and Cookie's color. Like Milk was the purple Terran, but I think Yaku has used it fairly often as well. Ah, the blood from the last game mixed. Sorry, the blue from the last game mixed with the blood of the Zerg. Yes. Strange Zerg blood, apparently. No, really, he is still blue, but like, it's because we're under the sea and you know, the color looks a little different. That's just what it is. Ooh, as this Hellion is actually being chased by Zerglings, and with speed, the Zerglings are able to quickly make short work of the Reaper, so no damage there, no harassment done by the Reaper, and won't be able to scout anymore for Yaku. Nicely done by Undertaker, keeping those few links there just in case they're needed for something like that. And he is pressing the Z button from now on. He is making more Zerglings, but I mean, he does have an overlord over the base of Yakuzaku, so he is aware of all the Hellions coming, and the Zerglings will definitely be useful for the defense against that. I mean, Undertaker does not have a Roach Warren or any further attack, so the Zerglings will be the go-to for defense. Yaku did make a Viking, so he is able to deal with the vision from the Overlords. The Liberator is still on the way, only just started. And so is Tin. Meanwhile, the Hellions are about to be ready for the move out. You see if they can get any damage done. Undertaker is taking a fork, he has a decent number of queens and he has the Zerglings. But we'll see if he can, you know, get in a good position. He can be there when he needs to be. Yaku waiting for that Liberator for the double prong attack. And we'll see where he wants to set it up. I mean, there are spores in each base. The one at the third is currently in production and the fourth is not even ready, so it doesn't quite need it. Ooh, even a fifth going down for our Zerg player. And that fifth will be able to spot the Liberator as it flies right over. The question is, did Zerg see it? It looks like Yaku will be setting up in the natural base. Meanwhile, the Hellions are trying to get in, but they check on that base first. Undertaker does pull away the drones, so only 2 of them are going down. I think the Queen tanked some of the shots as well, so that definitely helped, but with that, Liberator has been dealt with, and Yaku instead is trying to focus down this fifth base with the Hellions. I mean, the health is going down. Undertaker is also waiting till the last moment. Will he be able to cancel it, or will this be a kill for the Hellions? It is a cancel, just barely. At the same time, Undertaker is taking a hatchery at the other side, so I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know how much worth it was for Yaku to deny that base, but I guess, I mean, it's still a base, right? Like, every denied hatchery is always nice. But I feel like maybe he could get more damage done with those Helions in the mineral line, maybe? It's hard to say. Oh, but we have so many Zerglings here that I don't think those Helions are gonna do anything. I mean, they still get free drones, so I guess it's not nothing, but definitely not a lot of damage for our Terran player here. And those Zerglings are not staying idle either. After dealing with those Helions, they are going across the map. They will try to find out if they can maybe sneak into the bases. I mean, there are tanks, but siege tanks are not really, you know, that much of a danger for Zerglings with speed. And there is a lot of them. But it looks like instead Undertaker is focusing on like the tactical advantage instead of just straight up attacking. He is dealing with those rocks. He's getting ready for the next move, getting ready for the preparing the paths for his army, and getting burrow. How interesting. We'll have to see if what is the purpose of that. Zerglings poking are able to delay this command center a little bit, but obviously cannot really dive into this army. How nice their complementary colors. Yeah. That's usually what happens here. I mean, I say that, but like, I guess red versus blue is not exactly that, but you know. Actually, is it? It's not, right? Oh, my brain. I think the last time I learned about complementary colors, I was like 11. And that was a long time ago. Meanwhile, we have these Link Hydra forces here. Dealing with the double medivac drop, the entire drop is dealt with. The Hydras even sniped the full medivac, so Yaku won't be able to use that on the Zerg. And yeah, I mean, Undertaker is playing really well. Yaku meanwhile trying to take another base, a little bit hidden away. You can't really call it a ninja, but it is tucked away, so there's a less of a chance of the opponent spotting it on the path to the main base. That said, Undertaker does have burrowed links in other bases, or at least one of them, so he can make sure that no command center will be landing there. Meanwhile, we have this double drop coming out from Yakuzaku's base, and once again it is being scouted. We also have some spotter Zerglings burrowed as well. So yeah, Undertaker is well aware of what the Yakuzaku is doing, and he will be getting ready for this double drop. He once again has Link Hydra here in the base. And yeah, the Zerg is just swarming the Terran force. One of the medivac did pick up, but the second one was not so lucky. And yeah, once again, Yakuzaku is denied that damage. So Yaku does have a solid setup in the bases themselves, a lot of tanks. He has a planetary here as well, so it won't be that easy for Undertaker to just, you know, roll the Zerg army straight into it, but his force is getting stronger, and I mean, he's getting so many upgrades as well. He's working on bangs now, so he can even bust this base if he wants to. And behind all of this, we also have a Nidus. So even though like the frontal attack may not be ideal, with all of those burrowed Zerglings hidden among the bases of Yaku, he may be able to just, you know, surprise him from behind. As this command center will not be surviving, the Hydras will make short work of that. So the tucked away base did not work out. finally, the Zerg army is marching forward. The Banelings bust through the wall, and the Hydras are cleaning up the rest of it. The Vipers are here for support as well, but there's actually not that much Zerg army left over, and Undertaker cannot push forward. Yeah, I think he wasted a bit too many Banelings there. He has to rebuild this army, and actually he's very vulnerable right now. Yakuzaku sees that he is pushing forward with all the units that he has, with all the Marines, all the tanks. And Liberators are there for support as well. I mean, Lurkers are on the way, but I think Undertaker might have overestimated this a little bit. But we now have the reinforcements. The Liberators are now in parasitic thingy. That was a great moment to lose the words as the Lingbait army rose right into the Terran, and yeah, with the Zerg reinforcement, Undertaker was able to deal with that. He still has to clean up these air units as they were not completely killed off by the parasitic bomb. There you go. Found the word. But at the same time, the Lingbait is counter-attacking at the base of Yaku. The reinforcements of the Terran are not quite ready. I mean, they are trickling in now, but the harassment is being done. Meanwhile, Undertaker has rebuilt his army and he's dealing with the last of the air units of Yaku. Yeah, there are some bending mines here and there, so Yakuzaku has to be careful about those. Oh, we have a shark. Look at him go. But yeah, now this army is mostly Ling Lurker. There's only one binding in this army, and I think most of the Hydras were actually transformed. Do we have any Hydras? We have 3 Hydras on the map, so yeah. Once again, it looks like Undertaker has transformed almost all of the units into the next tier. And I hope this is the right decision, because we saw in the previous engagement that maybe turning all of the Zerglings into Banelings was not ideal, as he didn't really have support for the Hydras after. And the same way, I do worry that maybe, you know, getting rid of all of the Hydras for the Lurkers is also probably not the best choice, but he is remaking those Hydras, so that shouldn't take too long. Meanwhile, another wave of Lingbane is going towards the Terran base, and Stan is able to get in without busting the entire wall. But this is just a distraction, as the main force, or I guess the Lurker force, is in the Nidus, and Ayaku has not spotted it. He is so focused on the defense over there that he does not deal with the Nidus, and the Lurkers are able to download and completely demolish the natural base. Now the Terran army is rotating, but that also means that this base on the front will be more vulnerable. Yakuzaku has to split forces to deal with both of those attacks. Phoenix are rolling in, and they will be dealing with most of those Marines, but there are still tanks behind, so this is not enough to break this base. The Lurkers, meanwhile, has set up a position. The Liberator is a nice choice there, but unfortunately one shot from a Liberator is not able to kill off a Lurker. And the Lurkers are now in the front attack as well. They will definitely help against all of those tanks, but with the scans the tanks should still able to reach them. The planetary does go down though, and the Zerglings are now going towards the siege tanks there, and there's not much bio here, so it's not able to clean up those Zerglings before they reach the tanks. That said, Yaku has just enough, just barely enough to clean up this army, and once again Undertaker has to remake what he has, but he was able to save most of the Lurkers, as they did hide in the Nidus, and now the main base is in danger. This is where most of the production of Yakuzaku is, so this would be a huge blow if that gets destroyed. He does position the tanks, so at least few Lurkers will be hurt, but I don't think they were killed. One of them was. So like pretty much all of the production is now in danger. That one Liberator will try its best to help here, but without the detection it's not really able to shoot anything. Like Yaku would have to constantly scan here. At the same time, there's still an army on the front, there are still more banings, so Yaku has to focus on microing the bio army. And yeah, his production is dying. Yaku decides that, well, he cannot really save his base, so he may as well just go forward. He takes his army and he goes towards the bases of the Zerg. There are some banings here left over, getting ready for the defense. Liberators are setting up on this frontal hatchery. But the banings are waiting. They are waiting for the right moment to strike. And they will roll into the army. There's only one tank here and it is being dealt with. The second tank is sieging, but even that one is being bane busted. GG is called. Undertaker will be taking game number 1. Very nicely done there by Undertaker. I mean, you can clearly see that Undertaker is a very strong opponent. Yeah, Yakuzaku kind of struggling here. I mean, he, like, don't get me wrong, like, Yaku is playing well, but at the same time, like, I lost my train of thought as I was trying to click through the menus. God damn it, Crow. But yeah, Undertaker was just basically there, like, at every step that Yakuzaku was trying to take. Like, every time there was a harassment, like, Undertaker was aware of it. He had his Zerglings ready, he had his Hydras ready. A lot of the drops were dealt with very early on. And yeah, very nicely done. I'm quite impressed with the way Undertaker plays. And again, I feel like somebody should make it a meme at this point. I need somebody to make it a meme, because every time I cast these amateur tournaments, maybe it's because, like, I was taught that way, but I always point out that it's so important to have vision as any player. But, like, especially for amateur players, like, it just elevates them so much if they have the vision. And you could see it right here, as Undertaker had bird Zerglings that were everywhere. He had some floating overlords as well, and he was constantly aware of any movement that Yakuzaku was doing. If there was a Medivac or a Liberator coming out of his base, Undertaker was aware, he had the army ready, and with that knowledge he was able to play a really good game. Yeah, ready for our next game? Meanwhile, let's see what's been happening in the chat, because the chat has been talkative. God damn it. It looks like some players later on in the bracket are a bit impatient. Hey, look. As Light said, I mean, average tournament length is like 3 to 4 hours, depending on the size of the bracket. So, look. This Yaku will win the raffle. Sure. Kinda, he has not won a single one yet. But anyway, we are here on Ultra Love for our game number 2, and we are looking at the purple Terran player from Singapore, representing the CranKy Ducklings. It is Yakuzaku. And across the map we have our yellow Zerg player currently leading this series 1-0. It is from Taiwan, the yellow Zerg player, Undertaker. Now, here's the thing, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm fairly sure Undertaker is like a person in WWE or something, but I do not watch it, so I have no idea. So I'm sure if somebody who knows WWE would be casting this, they would have a lot of more jokes and stuff, but I don't. So there you go, chat. This is your call. This is your moment to make some good jokes about Zerg and Undertaker. You're welcome. Undertaking a bit of spying. Nice. Yeah, I mean, again, his vision was really good, which is definitely nice. Like, obviously, like, his macro was really good, and like, you know, he had a good army that was in the right position. But like, I feel like just knowing what your opponent is doing is just giving you so much of an advantage. It's worth saying that vision is not an advantage because you're not gonna see it anyway. I mean, fair enough. You have to get there. But once you do, like, it's definitely very beneficial. And like it's a good habit to have, even if you're not quite able to use the information yet. That's nice. Ah, shiny lights. Anyway, the Zerglings are now across the map, as this was a much more aggressive opening from Undertaker. He does delay the CC and chases away the SCV. This is not like an all-in or cheese by any means. Those are just 6 starting Zerglings that are tasked with delaying that CC, and 2 SCVs went down to that as well. The Reaper is coming back home now to deal with the threat. But the Zerglings are focusing the CC. Can they take it down? Not with another SCV coming down, but they will focus that as well. But I don't think there is enough now. And with the 2 Marines coming out as well, the threat has been removed. But that also gave Undertaker time to take a 3rd base without being harassed. And he is going for roaches next, so definitely much more aggressive opening there from Undertaker. And we will see if Yaku will spot it. I mean, the Reaper did go across the map, he sees that 3rd base. But I don't think he was able to get into the natural quite yet. Yeah, this is the one spot that he has not seen yet. He is going to the main base, but there are queens there. Ooh, and with the drones are actually the ones to snipe that Reaper, and the Roach Warren is staying unscouted. Very nice moves there from Undertaker. And with that, we'll see if Yakuzaku is able to respond. I mean, he is working on Marines. He's not getting Hellions quite yet. So this time focusing on the Marines instead. We are skipping the Hellion phase, it looks like. Meanwhile, the first Roaches are now moving across the map. Blair is currently on the way, so the upgrades will be to follow. The first 2 Roaches are now reaching the natural base of Yakuzaku. There are Marines here though, so they have to be careful, like they don't quite have the numbers to overpower the Terran army. And Undertaker realizes that and just straight up goes home. He was trying to be cheeky, he was trying to be aggressive, but it looks like he will go for the defense instead. Yeah, getting the Baningness, getting ready for defending the Terran aggression, as the double Medivac drop is now coming his way. Of course, once again, he does have that Overlord right here, so he is able to spot the Medivacs coming out of the base. The main base of the Zerg is quite undefended, so that is a potential venue of attack, but at the same time, once again, he has vision everywhere, so he should be able to rotate his forces if needed. Yakuzaku unloads on the edge of the base, so gives Undertaker a little bit more time to rotate, but at the same time there's not that much forces in the first place. It's mostly queens here for defense, but it looks like it's just enough to chase Yakuzaku away. Meanwhile, Yaku just working on his regular army. The bio tank is here. I mean, mostly marine tank, I guess. There are no marauders with his army. In fact, no, okay, I was about to say we don't have a second barracks, but we do have a second barracks right here behind the mineral line. And combat shield has just completed. Yaku's still trying to poke with the double drop, but once again, Undertaker is well aware of every army movement and is able to rotate his army accordingly, so no harassment is being done. Yakuzaku is still on 2 bases, by the way. The third one is floating right now, so he will try to secure that. Again, Undertaker is focused on defending, so it doesn't look like Yaku will have any issue taking that base, but we will see as the Zerg army is slowly getting bigger. Banning speed is about to finish, so that will definitely be very useful there. Oh, the Medivac dies to a spore, but there's the second push from Yakuzaku. The tanks are here with this one as well, so much more dangerous, much more scary. The 4th base of the Zerg will be going down. Oh, we'll be here for a while now. Yeah, for those who don't know, I mean, Zerg eggs are pretty sturdy. Meanwhile, what do we have for our Zerg play? We have Zerglings, we have a few Banelings, some Ravagers, and Vipers are on the way, but I don't know if I like this army for fighting the Terran. The Yakuzaku actually scouts with a Medivac to see what's going on. But yeah, the Zergling army is now rolling on top of the tanks, and that's actually a great position for Undertaker. The entire Terran army is completely demolished. I mean, some of the Marines tried to be safe, but not even. Just the Medivacs are going home. So very nice attack there from Undertaker, or like attack, defense. Nice cleanup there, as he was able to catch the tanks. And yeah, very nicely done. Anyway, it looks like Ultras will be on the menu this time, as the Ultra Cavern is already on the way for Undertaker. Another base as well. Meanwhile, Yaku is getting more drops ready. Another double Medivac drop is coming towards the Zerg. Looks like Yaku is also trying to go towards the top left corner base. But the Zerg army is already prepared right at the ramp. So Yakuzaku focuses on the Overlords instead. I mean, tries to deny that vision that Undertaker is so fond of. Okay, I think we reached the point. Hold on. And I need to cover the windows to see Yaku's army. There you go. Now I feel like I'm sitting in a cave, but at least I can see purple units on the purple minimap. But yeah, the Medivacs have finally been dealt with by the Vipers. A few Marines were saved, but not enough of a force to actually pose any danger to the Zerg, as the entire army is here as well. And eventually the Marines will be dealt with. A few of them are still on the high ground, but that is also spotted. Now we have quite a few tanks here in the frontal base of Yaku, but the Zerg is coming forward. We have the Ultras now, we have Vipers ready as well. We don't really... What is lacking in this army is the anti-air. Because this army does not have Hydras this time. There are Vipers though, so have to keep that in mind that parasitic bombs will definitely be a thing, but other than that, you're pretty much counting on Biles hitting something. Marines are there for support, but they are not going towards the frontal army. Oh, and Undertaker finds a nice little way to attack here as Yaku is focused mostly on the right side of the base while the left side is not so defended. Undertaker able to go in, takes down quite a few of the tanks and will be able to take down the fusion core as the upgrade for the Liberators is still underway. So that upgrade was denied. The blinding clouds also completely disabled the tanks. That accent was really weird, sorry. And yeah, the Ultras are just able to chew through most of the army, some of the buildings as well. Now rolling into the natural base and the wall is open, so they go right into the tanks. Of course the Liberator are raining fire on top of them, but that's not enough to stop this army. GG is called and Undertaker will be taking this series 2-0. Again, really nicely done. I'm very impressed by Undertaker, by his macro, by his map awareness. And with that, that will be enough for him to go into the semi-finals of this tournament, as he will be facing SooThSayeR next. At the same time, we also have some results for the top side of the bracket. We have Davlitos taking Bulochkin 2-1. So, very nicely done there for Davlitos. And Davlitos is currently facing Captainfisch, so we will be seeing one of those players in the semi-finals as well. Meanwhile, DizzyDwarf took down Beast 2-1, and DizzyDwarf is now waiting in the other semi-finals, so we will be seeing DizzyDwarf later. As a reminder, both of the semi-finals will be covered on stream, so look forward to that, as I have to make sure that I am not left behind. So it looks like we will be going into that bottom semi-finals next, so let's just get ready for that, get some snacks, get some water. I may actually get some water myself, so yeah, be right here, right after this break. And welcome. Welcome to Master Swan Open number 88. Where we are currently in the semi-finals of said tournament. As a reminder, this is a monthly 4.7k MMR tournament, so around, you know, the lower masters levels. And without further ado, so I just realized, there you go, that's much better. We are looking at our purple Zerg player from France representing GDA. It is SooThSayeR. Oh, I forgot, hold on. And across the map we have our yellow Zerg player from Taiwan. It is Undertaker. Undertaker was able to impress us quite a bit in the previous series, but that was a ZVT and we will see how he does in a ZVZ. As a reminder, of course, for those who only now tune in and are used to our typical fanfare and typical intros in the tournament, unfortunately my casting tool is broken, so I am not able to use some widgets that we normally do use on our stream, but I mean, I was still able to at least get the fanfare, you know, the fanfare sound, so we don't feel so deaf every time there is an intro. Because, I mean, once you get used to the fanfare, you can just never go back, really. It's impossible. So far, our players are mirroring each other so well that even the overlords meet at exactly the same point. And yeah, we'll see how they go as both of them decided for the economical opening. For the most part, getting the drones. Well, it looks like SooThSayeR is getting the speed just a little bit earlier. But really the differences are not all that big. The real question is what happens after those initial Zerglings that we see after those initial queens. As that is what we are looking for in the builds. And it looks like SooThSayeR is going for the banningness. I mean, it's a standard banningness, like a defensive one. I will mix the word defensive and protective. That's fine. But it looks like Undertaker is going for one as well. And both players are deciding to put those in the natural bases on the front. Although in slightly different spots, slightly different SimCity. And there we go, it looks like Undertaker is going for a lair instead of a third base. So focusing on tech a little bit more than SooThSayeR. Both our players are getting a lot more Zerglings as well. I mean, mostly I assume for defensive purposes, but probably some harassment as well. It looks like both of those forces will be moving out around the same time. Oh, as Undertaker goes towards the third base, but he sees the Banings being already waiting for him there, and he decides against it. He just sends single links to snipe those Banings. Still one more Baning is there. But all of the Banings are being dealt with, and now Undertaker can go forward. SooThSayeR has to defend. There are a few more Banings morphing. And will they be able to finish? Oh, just barely! One Baning finishes, and that's the entire army of Undertaker gone, and SooThSayeR is safe on 3 bases. Meanwhile, Undertaker does not have a third hatchery of his own. He's still making Zerglings though, so it looks like that aggression is not about to end. But that was a really nice defense there from SooThSayeR. I mean, it was very close, very clutch. Like that Baning just barely managed to morph and was able to take out most of the army. Interesting thing there. Another Banings are trying to march into the base of SooThSayeR, but not much really is being done there. Looks like Undertaker has also lost an overload somewhere, as he is currently supply blocked. Yeah, and here's the thing, like, Undertaker is still focusing on the army, but he also only just took the third base, while the one of SooThSayeR has already been up and running, already starting to get saturated, so that is putting Undertaker quite behind. And how will he come out of this situation? Like, what he will do to catch up? Looks like so far the plan is to go Mutas. Spire is on the way, meanwhile across the map, SooThSayeR going for roaches, so I mean, as we know, roaches are pretty good against Mutas. Not against the Mutas themselves, but against the Muta player. As Mutas don't really do with roaches quite well, so the roaches are able to just walk across the map and, you know, do damage in the base of the opponent. But, I mean, with that said, we will see, because in the end it's still all, like, it all depends on the control, it all depends on the decision making of both players. Like, if SooThSayeR just doesn't commit to the attack and just lets his bases be destroyed by the Mutas in the meantime, like, anything can still happen. Oh, as this base is actually quite overdrawn. Of course, there are still extractors being made, but yeah, still quite a lot of drones there. And we even have a macro hatchery in the main base of SooThSayeR. Very interesting. Meanwhile, Undertaker is still sending some forces of Zerglings across the map. But at this point, SooThSayeR has a good eye on whatever the yellow Zerg is doing. Ooh, that binding did connect, took down half of that force. The Undertaker is trying to just scout the opponent at this point, and it looks like SooThSayeR is also going for a Spire of his own, so we may just see Muta versus Muta. Meanwhile, the ones from Undertaker are already on the way. The attack upgrade for the Mutas is also halfway done. And I mean, SooThSayeR is well aware of the threat as the Mutas are killing down Overlords. But there are a lot of queens, there are a lot of spores. The Mutas of SooThSayeR are also already on the way, so we'll see how much Undertaker can do. I mean, he is taking down Overlords, which is definitely nice. But at this point, it's not even really supply blocking SooThSayeR. I mean, it is very close, but he's mostly fine. Once again, Undertaker trying to find a place to dive in. It looks like the bases of SooThSayeR are pretty well protected, and now we have the Mutas from SooThSayeR here as well. Oh, it looks like Undertaker wants to just take them in the head-on fight. I mean, he has the numbers and the upgrades have not kicked in for either player yet. But at the same time, the Link Roach army of SooThSayeR is going towards the base of Undertaker. Some of the links are left at the ferret, while the rest is going to the main base. Drones will be falling, 6 of them already dead, the queen as well. And now the roaches are joining with the Zerglings. I mean, the Mutas will try and their best to defend. They do have the +1 on the attack, so they will be able to deal with the roaches quite okay. But that doesn't change the fact that 19 drones did die for Undertaker. He is taking a 4th base, but he will have to do quite a lot of work resaturating those bases, remaking those workers if he wants to keep up with the macro. That said, they're actually not that far away in the drone count. It looks like Undertaker did start his economy much earlier than SooThSayeR there. He did get the higher numbers of drones most likely. But now he has to defend, and I mean, SooThSayeR is coming with all of his Mutas. The upgrades are now even on those Mutas, so there will be no advantage there. At the same time, there are still more Zerglings in the bases, still coming in, still causing havoc in the mineral lines. 7 drones die once again. And more coming. Another Baneling hit did connect with the drones, but at the same time we have the Mutas. Looks like Undertaker actually wants to chase it all the way across the map. He thinks he can take it. I mean, I think he has the numbers on the Mutas. How many Mutas do we have? Ooh, he doesn't anymore. It's 22 versus 24 with the advantage for SooThSayeR. And again, the upgrades are even, so in a straight-on fight, SooThSayeR should take it. But of course, like, I mean, the players can't really count it that fast usually. Like, I would be very surprised if the players were able to just count the Mutas straight up. So they kinda just, you know, eyeball it. They have to just judge if they have enough or not. And every time Undertaker is moving away with his army, SooThSayeR is running in with the Zerglings, and even though those are just Zerglings, are taking so much damage to the mineral line. So many drones fall every time, and now even a hatchery goes down. Undertaker only on 3 bases. The queens were also having a bit of a walk. You know, just keeping in shape. Visiting places, you know. Just some tourism over there. I mean, King's Cove is pretty nice. It is kind of a resort. But it looks like maybe Undertaker will be able to snipe this base from SooThSayeR once again. But he is being surrounded by the mutas. And this time I think SooThSayeR definitely has the numbers, and yeah, Undertaker sees that as well. GG is called. SooThSayeR will be taking game number 1 in this semi-finals. So yeah, GG there. And also, I should probably point out that whoever does advance from these semi-finals, whoever goes into the finals, like both of our finalists are getting some prize money, so it's definitely very much worth it to win this series, to advance. So like, you know, whoever takes this series will be already in the prize money. Of course, there is still the random raffle. So that will be still a thing, but if you want guaranteed money, then advancing to the final is what you have to go for. Somebody calling the Mutafy the wacky phoenix, or I mean, sure. Meanwhile, as we also can see on the bracket, it looks like Captainfisch did take down Dave Ditos and is waiting in that other semi-finals. So the second semi-finals is also ready for us, and we will be we'll be diving into that right after this series is over. So don't worry, we will be catching some Captainfisch and DizzyDwarf. But for now, we still have these semi-finals to conclude. And welcome to Ultralo. As in the bottom, or sorry, in the top right corner, we have our yellow Zerg player. It is from Taiwan, Undertaker. And across the map, at the bottom left corner, we have the purple Zerg player currently leading this series 1-0. It is SooThSayeR from GDA and France. I somehow missed both of those. And it looks like we have a hatch first from both sides. Once again, the players mirroring each other quite well, as the timings are almost perfectly the same. I guess we'll just have to wait and see what we go for this time. Will there be another Muta War? Will there be more Link Bane? Because it clearly looks like neither of our players is really afraid of that Link Bane phase. Hashtag rigged raffle. You know that Yaku will win, right? I mean, we have already decided. Kappa. How funny would it be if Yaku actually did win a raffle? I don't think he has won a single one. Like, not even this season. I don't know if he has won a single one, period. Like, in the entire history of random raffles. I would have to look that up. Don't expect much from me, don't overestimate my power. Look. Captainfisch, you are one of the favorites of this tournament, you know. That said, you do have quite a few strong opponents in front of you, but look. can actually play the game. Ah, I see. As we have a binding nest from SooThSayeR, once again a little bit earlier than Undertaker's, but the yellow Zerg is not too far behind either, so both our players just getting into that safe Link-Bane state of things, but once again SooThSayeR going for the third base much earlier than Undertaker does. So it looks like we may be seeing a little bit of a repeat from game number 1 in terms of those choices, as once again Undertaker going for that lair instead of a third base. He also sends a link out to check out what SooThSayeR is up to see that base, and he will scout the third hatchery. Both players have also seen that their speed is around at the same point, like the timing is very similar. Yeah, with the 4 extractors taken for Undertaker, I think it will be once again the Mutas. The question is, does SooThSayeR expect that as well? I mean, he's trying to send the links in, but can't he really see everything? Yep, he has seen the extractors in the natural base, which obviously is not like 100% confirmed, but it is a decent tell that the most gases have been taken, so it is probably the Mutas. Meanwhile, SooThSayeR once again going for the roaches. I feel like the roach one is much earlier than last time, but it's hard to say really. Ooh, meanwhile we have some good baning connections in the base of Undertaker, and 11 drones go down in total. But that will definitely slow down our Muta player. At the same time though, the drones are also falling for the SooThSayeR, but not quite as many. And it looks like this time SooThSayeR is ready for a move out as well, going out with his Link-Bane. And considering all the damage that Undertaker has already suffered, as well as, you know, those run-bys, it looks like Undertaker doesn't have a lot of units on his side of the map. He's morphing in some banelings, but yeah, he has to like make do with the units that he has. That said, some nice connections there with the banelings, and most of the Zerglings have been dealt with. Okay, again rolling into the mineral line. Good connections, not perfect, but still very nice. 8 drones once again going down, and now the drone count is quite significantly in favor of SooThSayeR, and we have to remember that SooThSayeR does have a third base. The third base is not mining, so this is just for larva, but he does have more production that Undertaker does. An interesting spot there for the roaches as they try to defend from those Zerglings, but they will be eventually surrounded. The reinforcements are not here in time, but the roaches will still be safe regardless with the Ravager more. Meanwhile, the first Mutas from Undertaker are here. They will be chasing around those that army. The banelings will be getting sniped. But the roaches go across the map regardless. They don't really care about Mutas all that much, but that said, the Mutas are able to snipe the units. At least they snipe the banelings, and the Ravagers are not as tanky as roaches are. So they also take quite a lot of damage. Just trying to deal with those Ravagers. The extractor is being sniped. I don't know how important the extractor was, but sure. Looks like this attack has been defended, has been deflected. And SooThSayeR has to figure out a new plan. He is droning up the third finally. He's also getting a Hydra then, so I guess we'll be switching up the plan quite a lot. I mean, last game we saw that SooThSayeR as a response went for a Hydra, went for Mutas of his own. But it looks like this time he goes for a ground army instead. Mutas snipe one of the queens, but they're not quite able to get anything else done. In the meantime, Undertaker has started at third base. So again, it is much later than SooThSayeR's is, but that said, SooThSayeR was also not mining from it for a long time, only just started, so... Well, he's still very much ahead. It's not quite as bad as it could have been. As I see the chat is having a lot of fun stressing Captainfisch out. Meanwhile, the Mutas dive into the main base of SooThSayeR. One of the queens gets sniped, the second one is barely just sniped as well. Even the Spore is going down, but now the Hydras are out and they are in the base as well. They are kinda cutting off the Mutas, but they still find a way to escape. Now Undertaker is aware of the threat that he is facing. He cannot really freely dive onto those bases when the Hydras are around. That said, I mean, the numbers are very important. But it will be much more difficult for him to get damage done now. Looks like both of our players kinda, you know, just massing up their forces right now, and finally Undertaker brings the rest of his army with him. So we have a I was gonna say Link Bane Muta, but it's mostly Bane Muta, as most of the Zerglings have been now morphed. Both of our players trying to find the best position for this attack. Undertaker kinda surrounding SooThSayeR, but is that enough? This is mostly Banelings in this army, but at the same time Hydras are very squishy and a lot of those Banelings do connect. Yeah, it looks like all of the Hydras were dealt with, but there are still quite a few spores in this base, so Mutas are not that much free to move around here. And new Hydras pop out just in time. Those Mutas are very hurt already, so the Hydras are able to do quite a lot of damage to them. That said, they have to be grouped up, because single Hydra is not quite a threat that it would be otherwise. That sentence was going nowhere, but it's okay. Undertaker remaking the links and turning all of them into Banelings once again. So definitely morphing a lot of units every time. Meanwhile, SooThSayeR is getting some lurkers. I mean, I don't know how much lurkers will have against this really. Because while they're good against ground units, I don't know if they shoot like fast enough to deal with those Banelings, which once again connect with the Hydras. More Banelings are rolling towards the drones. It looks like most of them were used for other purposes. Still 7 drones do die though. And this flock is not quite as big as it used to be. It's still able to deal with those single hydras, of course, but it's difficult for it to dive into the bases like it was before. Still, the hydras are ground units, so they can be outpositioned. Mutas are much more free to go between the bases, and at the same time we have this link base once again in the 4th base of SooThSayeR. Looks like SooThSayeR has enough though to deal with the ground army. Like, those are not pretty fights, but they are good enough for SooThSayeR to hold on, to keep going. And with the Mutas not being able to really dive into the bases of the purple Zerg anymore, like, the Undertaker is struggling a little bit. That said, as all of this harassment was happening, it looks like actually he was able to take down enough drones that he is slightly in the lead. He's also working on his 4th base, it just finished. So, economy-wise, Undertaker was actually able to not only catch up, but actually go ahead of SooThSayeR. And the roundbys don't stop, as there are more Zerglings in the 3rd base. And as the army is distracted, the Mutas once again try to dive into the 4th. So some very nice moves there from Undertaker to, you know, distract the army to dive in to get the damage done. And at the same time he was working on an economy of his own. Shiny. All the particles. Undertaker taking a 5th base and an ultra then, or ultra cavern, I guess. So I guess we will have Muta Ultra. I mean, I guess to be fair, Undertaker has not been making more Mutas, so it's mostly just Lingbane. And once again, it's able to get into the natural base this time and munching on the drones, getting SooThSayeR even more behind on the economy and even burrowing when discovered. The spin is so low, but it just barely survives. Just a few hit points left. The Zerglings still munching on the bases of SooThSayeR, and the Mutas are diving in once again into the main base. But there are a lot of spores there still. So with these numbers it's not really easy to do. At the same time the Roach Hydra army of SooThSayeR is going forward. The first Ultra goes down as it was caught in the base all alone. The drones were burrowed to be saved, but that will not be enough as there is an Overseer present, so all of them will be going down as well. Undertaker is getting the defense ready. We have some Ultras here, we have the Banelings, but there are Lurkers. Some nice blinding clouds, but I mean this Zerg army is very much mobile. This one Ultra is spinning! Oh no! Anyway, GG is called, and it looks like it was not enough for us to say Undertaker will be tying up the series 1-1. But did you guys see that one Ultra? That's so fun. That one Ultra was a little bit confused by the ramp, and it was just spinning in place instead of fighting. It's been a while since I've seen something like that. Okay, what is happening in the chat? The chat has been having a time. Sorry. My voice is slightly starting to die already. I'm waiting for the players to pick the next map. Also reading the chat. Yeah, apparently the whole chat is putting a lot of pressure on poor Captainfisch. Okay, I guess I will have to catch up with the chat later, as we are now in game number 3 of our semi-final. So it is tied 1-1. We have a very even ZVZ, very back and forth, and a lot of action happening. And here in the top right corner of Amygdala, we have the first of our players. It is from Taiwan, the yellow Zerg, Undertaker. Oh, sorry. Meanwhile, across the map in purple, we have the French Zerg player from GDA. It is SooThSayeR. Look, Captainfisch, I just know that you're a very good player, okay? So in my eyes, you always have a chance to be in the finals, okay? That's all I'm saying. Also, just fun fact for those who don't know, kura in Polish actually means hen, like a chicken. Yeah. Fun fact. So I have people who call me kura before, mostly Polish people, because they thought it was funny. Anyway, we have a difference. Undertaker actually going for a third base very early. His natural hatchery is not even finished yet, and the third base is already on the way. Before we had SooThSayeR always take that third base first and Undertaker focus on 2 base mutas, but not this time. So Undertaker playing this slightly differently. Oh no. Oh no. Apparently Captainfisch does not A-move, he T-move. Ah, okay. Different hotkey setup it is. It looks like SooThSayeR is taking a third base of his own, but what he doesn't know is how many Zerglings are coming from the side of Undertaker, and there are quite a lot. The first 4 are on this side of the map already, but of course SooThSayeR has enough to defend from that, but will he be able to defend from more that is coming? Undertaker is keeping them in the base for the time being, so hiding them from the vision of the purple Zerg. Also not getting his Binding Nest, this will be purely Zerglings. So Undertaker going for a straight link flood, meanwhile the Binding Nest of SooThSayeR is about to be ready, so we will have to see some really nice micro there from both of our players. As the Zerglings are now going across the map, I think SooThSayeR must have seen a glance of them, but I'm not quite sure, but now he does as they are flooding straight into the natural base. The queen is going down and Zerglings are in the main. The second queen is also in danger. It does find a really nice spot there between the extractor and the minerals, but that is not enough. It will be going down. And with that, we don't really have much defense here left for SooThSayeR. The Zerglings are popping out, but they are popping out one by one, so they're really trickling in. The first Blanks though are on the ramp. They're still morphing, they're halfway done. Question is, will they be done in time? Ooh, they are so close, but no, both of the Banings are denied. And now the Zerglings are in the mineral line. Undertaker with this link flood will be taking this entire series 2-1. Such a decisive game, number 3. Undertaker just takes it with a link flood. Very explosive ZVZ, but I mean, very well played. We had 2 really great Zerg players there, and with that, Undertaker is in the finals. So really nicely done there by Undertaker. And yeah, GG to SooThSayeR as well, because again, this was a really close ZVZ, like in all 3 games. Obviously, like the last game was very short, but it was not short for, you know, the lack of skill of either player. Like it was just a very explosive game, and SooThSayeR tried to do his best with the defense, but unfortunately Undertaker just had enough. He just had more. And with that, we will be getting ready for that second semi-finals. So yeah, we'll go on a short little break as I need to, you know, find the players as they are most likely on the EU server. And with that, we will be back for the second semi-finals. Why, hello there. It looks like the scene switcher decided to throw me into this scene. There you go. Anyway, we are back with the upper semi-finals of Master Swan Open number 88, our monthly 4.7k tournament. Where in the top left corner of King's Cove we have the first of our players. It is the blue Terran player representing SCQ. He is known as Vert, but you may also know him as DizzyDwarf. There it is. And across the map we have their opponent. It is the red Terran player representing Platinum Heroes. The not favorite to win this tournament. It is Captainfisch. Captainfisch is really not happy with me calling him the favorite once. So you know. No, but you know, honestly, like I just say that because he is one of the better players in our amateur tournaments. Doesn't mean he's the best player, but you know, he's one of the really good players. So I expect him to always do well. But as he said, DizzyDwarf is pretty strong. Even I believe in you. Oh boy. Yes, the entire chat, together with the other players, are trying to encourage Captainfisch to you know, play his best. And we will see how it goes, as it looks like DizzyDwarf is going for double racks, no add-ons. That is interesting, to say the least. I don't think I see it very often. Meanwhile, Captainfisch is going for Marauders without any other units. Marauder first. We have no Reaper, no Marine, nope, just straight up Marauders. Okay, so we're starting with some fun games. And yeah, but you know, in all seriousness, let's see how it goes, as we have two Terran players in front of us. The bunker is almost finished for DizzyDwarf, and I guess he will be defensive here. We will see how that goes for him. I mean, he has those two racks. Yeah, I do. Yeah, I wonder how that goes, because I've seen Marauders versus Protoss. But versus Terran? I mean, this setup is clearly for the Reapers potentially coming in, but there are no Reapers coming, as DizzyDwarf has opened with Marines. A single Marine in that bunker, and the rest of the Marines is up top, above the ramp. Let's type in more Marines. Nice. But yeah, the Marauders are going across the map together with a single Cyclone. And I am curious how this goes. I mean, Marines are pretty good. Wait, why I hear it? Oh boy. What Undertaker is doing in my room? Oh no. You say that DizzyDwarf, but there are actually Marauders in your room. Did you expect to see those so early? The bunker is quickly going down, but I mean, the Marines are still pretty scary. That said, Captainfisch is going forward. Those Marauders are starting to take units, but they also are getting very low. The Cyclone is also very low, but all of the units survive. Fortunately, they were not able to really do much damage, but none of the units have gone down. And as we know, there is no Medivacs here, there are no SCVs present, so they won't be able to heal up, to fix those units. Another Cyclone is coming. It was on the course to meet the Marines, but it was able to avoid them. But there are so many Marines here from DizzyDwarf. He did go for those two racks. And that is so much firepower. Even the Cyclones are not able to pose any threat to that. They will still try to kite, so there's that. But yeah, the first of the Cyclone is going down. The second one is also very close. Captainfisch doing his best with the micro to take down single Marines. And with that, that harassment is over. What do we have planned next? I mean, there is a Raven coming, there is a tank. Steam pack is almost finished. Meanwhile, what is the plan of DizzyDwarf? I mean, he got all of those Marines, but he didn't do anything with them, you know? Like, he just focused on the defense. He didn't scout Captainfisch either, so it's not like he was like, oh, I'm gonna be defensive. No, he just made the Marines, and he just has them. He has the Marines. But now the Medivacs are out. And with the Medivacs present, it looks like DizzyDwarf decides that this is time to attack. This is time to do some damage across the map. Meanwhile, we have a Raven sneaking in there from Captainfisch. Oh, a nice turret there. DizzyDwarf does spot it, but it's still 3 SCVs will be going down, and I mean, I guess some nice scouting for Captainfisch as well. But all of those Marines are ready and waiting to get into the bases of the Red Terran. And what do we have? We have some Marines here. We have a tank. Just a single one right over here. As this is happening, DizzyDwarf is taking his third base. Ooh, nice drop on top of the tank from DizzyDwarf. It will be going down. The Marines of Captainfisch were not there in time. But the second tank will be able to deal with most of the Marines. So, DizzyDwarf cannot really go forward. At the same time, another 4 SCVs going down to that Raven, but I think the Raven was killed. Question mark? No, actually not. The Raven moved away. Wait, where is the Raven? It just... yeah, just went home. Okay. Must have just went home right after dropping that second turret. Still have a few more Marines here from DizzyDwarf, but obviously this is not a big force, so as long as Captainfisch is aware of them being there, they shouldn't really do much damage. And as we see, Captainfisch is aware, as he even sends a scouting marine to make sure that the landing zone is clear for that orbital. Ooh, but he doesn't have enough Marines actually, and it looks like DizzyDwarf will be overpowering this force. And I mean, even those few Marines have so much firepower that this orbital is in danger. But with their reinforcements, Captainfisch is able to push this force back, and the orbital will be landing once again, but at the same time, DizzyDwarf is sending their reinforcements, this time with tanks. We have at least one tank. Do we only have one tank? Yeah, we have one tank, it looks like, and just the Marines, but they are upgraded, they are steamed, and they are running up the ramp. The SCVs are in danger, the orbital will be focused. Yeah, it looks like the orbital will be going down, and so will the army of Captainfisch. The tanks are trying to hold the line, to hold further reinforcements, but I don't know if they can do so in time. 7 SCVs going down with that attack as well. Captainfisch is getting ready for the defense in the natural, but DizzyDwarf actually packs up the units and goes straight for the main base, straight for the production. And with so many Marines, as the units of Captainfisch are trickling in, GG is called, and DizzyDwarf will be taking game number 1. So yeah, very interesting game number 1. Not quite the builds I would expect from either side, really. So, you know, the game got a little bit scrappy. As Captainfisch is he's still focusing on the fact that he was called a favorite. So, you know, there's a lot of pressure on the favorite. I mean, look, let's be honest, SooThSayeR was saying that as well, that once you win the tournaments, like, there's a lot of pressure on you to win more tournaments. Like, it's really not easy for the favorite. I am being awful right now. But yeah, in all seriousness, we know that DizzyDwarf is also a very strong player, so... Oh no! Captainfisch is saying, Kuro, did you say favorite during the cast? I will watch, I will check. Oh no. Oh no. But I was saying, DizzyDwarf is a very strong player. He has been to... I think he's been in the finals before, actually. Let me check that. Yes, I know that I have a lobby to attend to, but hold on. I need to know. Okay, so DizzyDwarf was in finals twice of MSO and has won one of them, and the one MSO that DizzyDwarf won was versus Captainfisch in the finals. So there's that bit of a fun fact for today. Yes, hold on, I need to do this, and then I need to do this. No. Wrong. Kuro, do it again. This. Anyway, we are here on Ultra Love for our game number 2 of this semi-finals. As a reminder, this is the last series, the second series before the finals. So either our blue player wins this game and we'll be going into the finals, or maybe our red player can tie it up. Meanwhile, we have in the top right corner, it is our blue player. It is from Poland, representing SCQ, Wert, or Wert, also known as DizzyDwarf. I said that before. I have a hard time when I'm trying to read and speak at the same time. And across the map we have our red Terran player representing Platinum Heroes from Germany. It is Captainfisch. Master Swan Open, it was blind. I mean, it was a pretty unusual way to open. I will definitely say that. And I think we are going for the same thing again. I'm starting to wonder, is that actually just how DizzyDwarf plays? Like, is it just his build in TVT currently? Because he's once again going for the Turax Marine. Just straight up, no Reaper, no nothing. No add-ons even. Meanwhile, Captainfisch opening much more standard this time, going for that Reaper. I assume Reaper expand as well, but well, actually no, it's Turax. What am I saying? It's Turax Reaper. Okay, chat. I'm not a Terran. I'm not good at TVT. Turax Marine versus Turax Reaper. Who wins? Neither of them is proxied, so nobody has an advantage. But it is a Turax versus Turax. And we have the first Reaper of Captainfisch in the base of DizzyDwarf. I was like, what is this? As he once again sees those Turax, he sees those Marines. Nothing to see. Everything is as normal. Proceed. As we have more Reapers from Captainfisch. It looks like Captainfisch has transitioned from that. He is not producing more of the Reapers. This is just a the initial harassment force. So he will not be committing into this attack, but still a very interesting start to the game once again. Ooh, but the Marines are ready. I mean, DizzyDwarf has a lot of the Marines, so he is able to split them between the bases, so it doesn't look like the Reapers will be able to get in, which is, of course, very painful for Captainfisch, because those are, you know, he did align his build, he did change his build to make sure that those Reapers can be made, that those Reapers will be out. So for them to not really have any use is always painful, of course. But that also means because Captainfisch went for the Reapers, he's also much more aware of what DizzyDwarf is doing, because if you remember last time, he went completely without scouting, I mean, as did DizzyDwarf as well. But he was not aware at all about aware of what DizzyDwarf was doing. But this time he was able to scout. He saw the Marines, he saw the racks before there was like a big army already there present. So now he is actually able to prepare. He is already working on Marines of his own. He has them reactored. He's working on Steam. The Steam pack of DizzyDwarf has just completed, but the one from Captainfisch is not that far behind. And the first tank is already out. So I'm sure DizzyDwarf will have a little bit of a harder time in this game, as you know, the way is not quite as open. It looks like once again DizzyDwarf will be waiting for those medivacs though, so there is quite a bit of time for Captainfisch to prepare. The chat is quite excited for this series. I mean, both of those players do frequent the chat, so our chatters are fairly familiar with them. I mean, especially Captainfisch I see a lot around, but this is Dwarf as well, so yeah, it's one of those series where like you have two regulars of the channel battling it out, and you know, they obviously have a lot of support from the chat, as you know, as they are familiar. And those Reapers do spot the move out, do spot the double medivac drop from DizzyDwarf. But did Captainfisch see it? I mean, he has the tank, he has the Marines. He's even sending a Marine out to make sure he knows what is going on. And he will just barely catch those medivacs, I think. But they were on the very edge of his vision. Oh, and the medivacs are in the main base, but there are Marines here, and Captainfisch is ready. The Reapers are coming back as well. Looks like they will be tracing the medivacs to make sure that Captainfisch is aware of the movement of the army. And I didn't pay attention to that, did I? Captainfisch did say that he wants to play some fun games. It looks like fun games in TVT means Fusion Core. We are getting Yamato battle cruisers. Full with Yamato and everything. Oh boy. Are you gonna teleport, Captainfisch? Oh boy. This is such a ZVT feeling. But apparently it's a thing in TVT too. That said, the Marines are pretty good. And with that many Marines, I mean, that BC has to run quite quickly. But even then, I mean, it's still doing damage. It's still shooting while flying, so it's still taking down SCVs, 5 of them in total. And as long as this BC is not dealt with, I mean, DizzyDwarf has to keep his forces back at home. Ooh, I didn't actually know BCs do outrange Marines. So if Captainfisch kites it, he can slowly take the Marines out. And also, while all of this is happening, DizzyDwarf is not paying attention to this army as it's just standing idle. And Captainfisch uses that. Tries to snipe the army, but DizzyDwarf is alerted to it and does catch it in time, but still loses all of the fighting units. The only unit left was the medivac, and it was not able to pick up anything. So all in all, even if this BC doesn't actually get a lot of done, like it was still a distraction good enough to remove the danger from the front of the base of Captainfisch. And now we have 2 BCs, but that one BC was unfortunately a bit too close, and so was the second. It looks like didn't quite work out as both of them were focused. So that was it for the BC aggression, but That also means that because DizzyDwarf was busy back at home, Captainfisch was able to build up an army in the meantime and is ready to move out against his opponent. DizzyDwarf, of course, still has a lot of the marines, so has to be careful, and he is going forward to meet the enemy. The tanks are not siege as they are all stuck on the ramp. And as when they do, the marines are already gone, so they don't really have the support. So unfortunately, it looks like DizzyDwarf will be able to clean up this army. Another BC comes in and tries to help with this defense, with this fight in the middle of the map, but I don't know if it is enough. There are so many men with gun here. SCVs are being pulled off the line to fix the battlecruiser. And I mean, they do a really good job at repairing that. Look at that. Repair is pretty good. But this is still not over. There's still so many units from DizzyDwarf. Species once again in danger. It will actually teleport out. But Captainfisch has tanks, and I mean, even though DizzyDwarf was able to take down a lot of the army of Captainfisch, like he still lost a lot of the army of his own on the way here. That's funny. So all in all, like, this ramp is actually not that easy to take as DizzyDwarf was hoping it would be. Captainfisch actually has enough to move against this army and clean it up. But this is of course not the last word of DizzyDwarf, as he is running more units. He has the reinforcements ready. There are more marines, and they are just marines. I just like to point that out. Those are just marines. There's no marauders, no tanks, no nothing. DizzyDwarf is going straight man with gun. Of course, there are some Vikings joining in as well to help with the BCs, but definitely the main part of the army for DizzyDwarf is those marines. There are upgraded marines, of course, and they even have +1/+1 right now, which is very important, as unfortunately Captainfisch is caught a bit off guard. The entire army, or half of the army, was in the third base, and that was enough for DizzyDwarf to just go straight into the natural. The army has since joined in. The pieces will try their best to defend from these marines, and it looks like it will be just enough. Yeah, Captainfisch does clear this attack. That was a very long Yamato, but it did work. But we also have to keep in mind, of course, that once again 11 SCVs did go down. I mean, like, as well as Captainfisch is doing with these PCs, like, he is losing workers, he is losing economy, so DizzyDwarf of course is ahead in that. And eventually he should be able to outgrow the economy if Captainfisch is not able to catch up in those workers. I mean, mules are pretty good, but this is a TVT, so both players do have those mules. But that's it. I mean, those were pretty solid defenses there. Like, it looked very close, but every time Captainfisch was able to clean up those attacks from DizzyDwarf. So has a spotter marine to make sure that he's not surprised by another attack, and he's going forward with his marines towards the marines of DizzyDwarf. Unfortunately, we have to remember the upgrades, as DizzyDwarf already has +2/+2 versus +1/+1 of Captainfisch. Tanks, of course, definitely help with the defense, as they are placed strategically throughout the bases. And the Vikings alone are not able to fight this fight. Another wave of reinforcements from DizzyDwarf is coming across the map. +3 for both attack and defense on those infantry units is also on the way for DizzyDwarf. As is +2 for Captainfisch. But DizzyDwarf now has the numbers as well as the upgrades. He's overpowering the third base, and the SCVs are going down once again. Captainfisch will try to retake the ground, but it's not able to do so for now. The orbital goes down as well. Ooh, the tank gets sniped as it was not fast enough to move away from the marines. There is another tank on the high ground though and a BC, so this marine army cannot really run up the round just freely. Another BC goes for harassment, but there are so many marines here. Yeah, even the Captainfisch points out that there are so many men with gun here. DizzyDwarf definitely not stopping with the production. He started with a lot of marines and he's continuing the game with a lot of marines. As this BC tries its best to do some damage, but it will be eventually taken down. But don't you love it when you try to drink during the cast and almost choke? Amazing. Anyway, as I'm trying to stay alive. Oh, okay, I see. DizzyDwarf is also trying to get somewhat interesting, as this army will actually get cleaned up despite the upgrade advantage. Captainfisch does have the numbers, but DizzyDwarf is going for force. I guess he has had enough of the BCs, just going straight for the force, and he produces 3 at a time too. So this sure will be an interesting game. Checking on the bases, making sure how the economy is, as Captainfisch is forced to leave his main base, while DizzyDwarf is on 5 bases. He just landed his 5th CC. He didn't even have to leave his main base or natural. And it looks like DizzyDwarf plans to attack as Captainfisch once again tries to retake that 3rd base. Now with the Thors going forward as well. And as Captainfisch sees the Thors, he's like, okay, yeah, nah. GG is called. DizzyDwarf will be taking this series 2-0. But this was a very fun TVT. It was very interesting. And I mean, Captainfisch did do pretty well for what it's worth. Ah, DizzyDwarf is not a fan of playing on Americas. But regardless, we will be getting into those finals. We will take a short break to get ready for the finals and also to get ready for the raffle. So yeah, make sure to get some snacks, get something to drink, and be right back for that finals, for the final series of today's Master Swan Open. Okay, we are back. We finally found DizzyDwarf. Yes, we did lose him for a moment. But before we get into those finals, there's one more thing we have to do. We quickly make sure that everything is refreshed and ready. Yes, we are now ready for the random raffle. What is a random raffle? Well, if you are new here, then you may not know, but if you have been here for a while, then you have heard already. But For our tournaments, for Ducklings Open, Master Swan Open, and for Sparkling Tuna Cup, we have a random raffle, which means that every person who plays at least one full series, so no forfeits, no no-shows, if you play at least one full series, you are eligible for extra $5. It can be someone who lost in the first round, it can be someone who is in the finals. We don't know, as again, it is a completely random, but yeah, you have a chance to get something even if you don't go very far. So without further ado, let me randomize. And today, the winner of random raffle is Cute. There you go. Congratulations to Cute, who we have seen in the first round versus Yakuzaku, right? Yeah, versus Yakuzaku. So the person who has lost in the first round this time gets a random raffle, $5. So yeah, congratulations. So yeah, Cute, if you hear this message, make sure to join the Matcherino, because we do payouts through Matcherino. And without further ado, let us get into the finals. Our players are already in the lobby and waiting. Let me just make sure that everybody knows this is a best of 5, because sometimes we can forget. So yeah, without further ado, let us get into those finals. We have two very good players from what we have seen so far. And it will be exciting to see them go against each other. And this is where I'm trying to remember what it was that Undertaker went for in the previous ZVT that we've seen him in. But as we know, my memory is very good. Anyway, we are now starting our best of 5 finals on El Dorado. But not the most common map, but we are having it here nonetheless, where in the bottom right corner of the map we have our blue Terran player representing SCQ and Poland. It is DizzyDwarf. Meanwhile, across the map, we have his opponent. It is the yellow Zerg player from Taiwan. As far as we know, not representing any clan, but maybe we will get updated on that. But it is Undertaker. Yeah, we will see how it goes, because the whole, because DizzyDwarf is so sure that it will be Muta, but I think the whole Muta play was specifically the ZVZ thing. And I'm trying to remember what it was that he did in ZVT. I think... This is Kuro browsing the deepest drawers of her memory, and they're all empty. There's nothing there but dust. Oh no. This was literally an hour ago, and it's already gone. Oh no. Well. Oh yeah, shout out to Davidos, as Captainfisch is giving a shout out to Davidos as well. Davidos always plays in the tournaments. He's not the best, but still shows nice gameplay. And I would like to second the shout out, because Davidos is one of those players. Actually, Captainfisch does that as well, to be fair. But like, they were some of those players who play in all tournaments that they are available for, so they don't only play in the amateur tournaments, but they also play in the open tournaments. Even though, you know, they clearly are not on the level of the pro players because they are amateurs. But they still try their best, they still show the best games they can, and, you know, they participate, they get the tournament experience, and, you know, even if you're not the winner, like, the experience still counts. The learning still counts because, you know, you get to play versus, like, very good players, so you get some proper practice, and, you know, it's still worth it. So shout out to all the amateurs who try their best in the open tournaments, as I have done so myself as well in the past, so I can definitely recommend it. As we have this first Reaper from DizzyDwarf, this time not skipping the Reaper, but scouting the Zerg very carefully. Poking at the Natural, doesn't quite see the main base, but there isn't much to see, to be fair. Wait, is Captainfisch not in Platinum Heroes, or is he? Yes, I did mention Platinum Heroes a few times at least. I see Captainfisch asking. I mean, sometimes I forget when I don't see any logo next to the base, but it did pop up, so I did remember that. Oh yeah, Platinum Heroes. And once again, DizzyDwarf is just really focused on Marines today, getting 2 racks, 2-1-1, focusing on those Marines, getting that man with gun. I mean, man with gun is a pretty good unit, so we'll be getting a lot of those. It's not quite mass Marines, as chat is pointing out, but it's still a lot of Marines. Meanwhile, Undertaker able to take 3 bases, and he's actually not getting any tech. He's just preparing for the defense, he's just getting Zerglings, getting Spores, but yeah, there's no tech whatsoever. In fact, he's taking a 4th base as well. Undertaker being really cheeky in an economical way. And I mean, we'll see how that works for him, because 2 medivacks are going towards the bases. There are queens, there are spores, but there are barely any units. There are 11 Zerglings right now, there are 12 more on the way. But at the moment, there is not much of a defense ready. Now the Marines land, the Zerglings are here and they do surround them, and actually looks like that's enough to scare the medivacks for now. The queens are focusing on the medivacks too. Looks like the wall was also mined out just enough for the Zerglings to come through. And yeah, that is all that Undertaker needs, and he will stop that drop for the time being. That also means that he can get away with so much economy. I mean, look at this base. Look how overdrawn this 3rd base is. And I mean, the 4th is about to be finished. Meanwhile, DizzyDwarf still trying to shave off whatever units he can, because I mean, every unit taken is still a little victory there. But definitely not quite what he expected to see across the map. And even though, again, even though Undertaker didn't have a lot of defense, like, that was just enough of defense, you know? The drop is now being reinforced by another full medivac. But at this point, the banelings are already out. The speed is not finished, so that's important. But the banelings are morphed. And yeah, I mean, Undertaker is paying attention to this. It doesn't look like DizzyDwarf is able to get in. As the Zerglings are now going to try to clean up these Marines, they're trying to stop the Marines in their tracks to let the banelings reach them, but yeah, the speed is still a few seconds away. Maybe Undertaker went a little bit too early. I feel like maybe he could have waited for that speed. But nonetheless, I mean, still keeping DizzyDwarf at bay. The speed is now finished. There are still a few banelings, but not too many. Oh, and they are being sniped. DizzyDwarf is not letting them connect. That said, there are more Zerglings now. And as all of this was happening, Undertaker was working on Hydras. The first Hydras are popping out. Speed is on the way. DizzyDwarf trying to clean up some creep. At the same time, he is sending reinforcements across the map. We have one tank with this army, and still mostly Marines. Undertaker also a bit supplyable because a lot of the overlords were sniped on the way. We can see that in vision on... That was very smart, Kuro. You can see that in the vision on the minimap that like it's much darker now because Undertaker does not have all those overlords all over the place. That said, with the tank, I mean, this dwarf has a nice setup here, so Undertaker cannot quite go straight into it. He is getting more banelings ready. More reinforcements are joining in, and I mean, Defender's advantage is definitely a thing, so... The longer this takes, the more likely it is that Undertaker will be able to clean this force. He has some Hydras here up top, waiting to surround this army. Grooved Spines are about to be finished. So as DizzyDwarf is focusing on these small skirmishes in the front, he also has a drop in the main base. And that one has a tank. So while those queens maybe would be able to deal with the marines, they're not quite ready for the tanks, so the Zerglings have to be pulled here. But as this is happening, the army of DizzyDwarf is also trying to push forward, but it's met with the banelings. So all in all, neither of these attacks is actually successful. I mean, there are some losses, but not that many. Oh, and it looks like, oh, the army is moving, but the Hydras are still not discovered. DizzyDwarf still fighting the Linkbane on the front. And now the surround is ready. The Hydras are coming in, they are dealing quickly with the tank, and there is Linkbane that is with the Marines. Some of the bio, I think, got evacuated in the medivac. Yeah, we have one full medivac that does evacuate, but the rest of the army has been destroyed. Meanwhile, back at home, DizzyDwarf does have another wave ready, so this is not the end of his aggression. But because Undertaker has been keeping DizzyDwarf at bay so well, he is able to go into Hive. Getting Burrow as well. I mean, definitely something that Undertaker likes to do. And yeah, I wonder how he will approach this. He's trying to get into this mineral wall. I actually don't remember how the mineral wall looks on Eldorado. Like, is that how it just looks normally, or was that mined out? Nonetheless, Zerglings are running into the natural base. They find that tanks still sieged, and they are able to do quite a lot of damage on them and actually taking down both. And with the tanks out of the way, more Zerglings are flooding into the Terran base. Those are just Zerglings, so you know, they're not the strongest, but they do damage. At the same time, though, we have an army from DizzyDwarf at the top of side of the map, finding that fourth hatchery of Undertaker and taking it down. Ooh, the infestation pit is also here. That's a bit dangerous. I think there's the only one, right? Yeah, that's the only one. But the main army of the Zerg does now find the Terran. The Banix are rolling into the bio. And most of the army is cleaned up. Two medivacs do escape with their cargo. Or I guess with their passengers. Cargo is kinda, you know, they're not objects. Yes, chat is pointing out. I mean, kind of both players are going for the wave tactics, right? Because Undertaker makes a lot of Zergling, while DizzyDwarf makes a lot of Marines. So both of our players playing in that swarmy way. Are those mineable? Those are mineable. That's funny. The minerals are actually in the gold, in the coins. That's quite funny. As we have another wave of the Terran army, and the Zerg is trying to clean it up, but has to be careful because there is quite a nice setup from the Terran already. Nonetheless, Lingbe is diving in time and again, trying to deal with this bio army. And is taking down small chunks of it. Ooh, but that was a kill on that hatchery as well. Now the ultras are out and they will be marching forwards. Parasitic bomb is out as well, so this Medivac is out of commission. The tanks are not able to stand against this and they are blind crowded as well. The ultras will be marching forward. They don't have the upgrades yet, so they do fall fairly quickly, but nonetheless they do a lot of damage to those marines and the blinding clouds are helping as well. But with the reinforcements from the Terran, they're not able to push forward into the bases. That just looked like that ultra exploded. like nobody touched it, it just exploded on its own. I'm new to this tournament, how can I participate? This tournament is open to anyone who obviously have the required games and is below 4.7k MMR. This is a monthly tournament, as well as Biweekly Open, which is for diamond players. Both of those are monthly, although it looks like the next edition may be in February, because January's schedule is very busy, so it's possible that the next tournament will be in February, not in January. So yeah, keep an eye out on our socials for that, but other than the MMR requirement and game requirements, anyone can participate no matter the region. So yeah, feel free to sign up. Feel free to follow us either on Discord or other socials. As the ultras are dealing with these tanks and once again are marching forward. This time they do have chitinous plating. There are the socials. Posted them in the chat. Well, the spelling landmines don't quite work as they were scouted immediately, they were scanned, but nonetheless the tanks are pushing forward, they're getting on top of the planetary as well. That said, this is not an ideal position I feel like to push into the Terran, but still with the blinding clouds it seems to be working decently well. But yeah, there was a bit of a concave for the Terran, not quite ideal situation for the Zerg as pushing into the ramp, into the tanks, does deal a lot of damage to the army. And it looks like the Undertaker has missed this small contingent of the army. It's actually focusing the hatchery and will be going down. At the same time though, the armies are also clashing at the top side of the map. So there's a lot of action happening in various places and both of our players have to stretch their attention to keep up. This is a bit of an ambitious base, but okay. Yes, once again we have a clash in the middle of the map. Ooh, this hatchery was killed. There was no cancel there. This hatchery will also be going down, although it was already finished, of course, so no cancel available. Oh, this is actually not in range of the tank. No! Yeah, with the scan it will be, but don't send the drones there. It's not safe. We have more Baning landmines, but once again, DizzyDwarf did see them happening, so he's able to discover all of them before they come into effect. Ooh, nice blinding cloud on this army that was actually very clamped up in the choke. And the Ultras are able to do some damage, but still a lot of the bio is left over. It is very damaged bio though, have to keep that in mind, but with Medivacs, they should be still able to put up a fight. Ultras are once again trying to get on top of this bio and will be able to do so. Some nice connections from the Banix as well. That said, the Ultras are starting to fall, but it's just enough to clean up this force. We have another wave of the Terran already finished, already waiting. Zerg has remade the Ultras as well. And yeah, we're reaching a very interesting scenario on this map as most bases have been already taken. This base was of course cleaned up and DizzyDwarf made sure to actually plug this wall to make sure there are no more run-bys coming in. So we have the Zerg collapsing on this army, the tanks is in danger, and we have the fungal on the army as well. There's one infestor, actually two infestors in the back, really paying off. But that said, I feel like there's not a lot of support for these Ultras, and alone they're not that amazing. They definitely cannot push into the bases of the Terran as the tanks are well set up there. They are spread out on every ramp. And it looks like maybe Undertaker is trying to find another angle of attack. So close. So close. Come on, you can do it. No, he wasn't looking. No, it was so close. Oh, but this army is running into the wrong neighborhood as it goes straight into the Ultras. That said, there are the Terran reinforcements, and once again, these Ultras, where's the support? Where's the Link Bane? There are only few Hydras and Spellcasters. The Fungal worked great on this army and it will be shoot down in no time, but after the Fungal is done, like what's then? I don't like that part of the army of Undertaker. I don't like that there's not a lot of support for the Ultras. Nonetheless, the game is still pretty even. Undertaker is actually maxed out on this army. So what do we have in the maxed out army? There you go. We have some Banings now. We have 6 Ultras, 6 Hydras, a few Spellcasters. Ooh, and actually catches this army of the Terran with the Blinding Clouds as well. All the tanks are already gone. And it's just the Bio army with the Medivacs. It is running into the base of the Zerg, but it's actually the Terran who is trapped here, and the entire army will be cleaned up. And do we have another force for our blue Terran? There is more. I mean, there are still the tanks that were left over that are just, you know, spread out around the bases for defense. But we also have a bio reinforcement force, so it still looks okay for now. That said, DizzyDwarf is much lower on his resources. He is mining a lot, but he also doesn't really have a bank left over. And we have to keep in mind that when most bases are taken, almost all of the bases are taken, like those mineral banks, those resource banks are actually becoming important because later on, like, there will be nothing to make the units with. Oh, those Banings. I just keep looking at those Banings. They are so close. This dwarf keeps walking over them. But it's just not the moment, you know? You have to wait for the right one. Okay, there are some banelings in the middle. Can Undertaker bait this army into those banelings? He's trying to. Look at this ultra. He's really trying to get the marines to walk into it. At the same time, we have a marauder force going towards the top side. And banelings will help with this defense, but obviously marauders are not as fragile. So the banelings do have to do some more. Oh, actually the depot was destroyed and it looks like the banelings are, sorry, the zerglings are getting into the bases of the Terran once again. Just a small contingent though, so isn't able to really do that much damage, but is able to provide a distraction. As the entire Zerg army is now rolling into the base of the Terran, there are a lot of tanks here, but they are being under blind clouds. What a sentence, Kuro. And most of the tanks do go down, but not all of them. Zerg army has to move back once again. At the same time, we have some harassment force over here. Oh, actually the Ultra's cover is so low and this being focused, it's not transfused again. So no more ultras coming out until that ultra cavern is remade. It is on the way. It was already placed, but it will be a while before the production is up and running. This gold base is also in danger as the Terran army is pushing forward. I like how we can see the minerals and gas on the ground. But the hatchery is focused and it will be going down. Those ultras are falling quite quickly, they're quite damaged already. There are a lot of banelings in this army, but they're not able to catch up with this army, they're not able to connect. But the smaller force may fall prey to the Zerg. Tanks are safe though. Well, this is awkward. Please tell me he mines from this. As actually, the Zerg reinforcements are not here to help out. I mean, they are the borrowed banelings, so they can still definitely help. Oh, nice fungal as well. But yet the banelings are not quite able to do their job, as this is mostly a marauder army. The tanks siege on top of the banelings as well. Yeah, this is suddenly looking a little bit scary for Undertaker. I mean, he still has enough to defend, but those engagements are getting increasingly tricky there. Shaking my head. Nonetheless, the base is taken down. And it looks like Terran is getting more ground on the map, but this is not over yet, as Undertaker is once again rolling into his army with the Dingbane, with the Ultras. It looks like he will be taking down most of it. But can he clean it up? I mean, the Ultras are starting to run out, the Zerglings are starting to die as well, but it looks like it's just enough to push forward. Planetary, of course, deals a lot of damage. There are tanks set up all around the place as well. Yeah, the Zerg army does not look as formidable as it used to. Of course, we still have some burrowed banelings here and there, but yeah, it's actually... What does the civis do? Yeah. Look. Once again, Undertaker has to remake his army, and I mean, DizzyDwarf is pretty well. The ghosts. His leader is stepping on it almost. Well, we have the main Zerg army coming in towards this Terran setup, so has to react to that, as the Lynx and Ultras are actually chewing through this entire army, through this entire force. Still, the planet seems a little bit scary, but this newly set up base is definitely juicy picking for Undertaker. So once again, this base will not stay in possession of one player for a very long time. But yeah, we've been here for half an hour. I just realized. We've been here for half an hour. This is game 1 of the finals. I mean, once again, it shows that we just have very, very good players, very evenly matched. And yeah, let's see how this series goes. That said, yeah, I think I'm looking at it now, but yeah, pretty much Undertaker is out of mining. He has this mining base, and the rest of the bases have pretty much just leftovers. I guess this one is kind of mining. And yeah, there's not a lot of mining going on. Meanwhile, on the side of DizzyDwarf, we have this base over here, and I think that's also pretty much it. I mean, I guess these few gold minerals are also going, so that's why there's been so much fighting over this base, because pretty much this is the last fresh base, the last one that still has most of its minerals. And as I said, that bank will really matter in the long run, because both players are now struggling to get resources. Oh my god, I read that. Why did I read it? So once again, Terran is threatening that base, so Zerg has to react. We have Banelings, we have Ultras going forward, dealing with the Terran units. The tanks are gone, it's just the bio now. I mean, this planetary does stop the army for the time being, but with this many Ultras, they actually can overpower the repair. Undertaker is going forward, but it looks like there are enough Marauders to stop this push for a little bit. But after a quick regrouping, is that how you say it? God damn it, English. Undertaker keeps going forward, the reinforcements are coming, and DizzyDwarf is forced to pick up, but he lost the entire base, he lost the planetary, which was, I mean, a strong part of his defense. So the Terran wall is broken, but that said, is that enough? I mean, there are still quite a lot of forces, there are the reinforcements. Said once again, both of our players are very low on resources at this point, so it will be increasingly difficult to rebuild this army, so every unit lost counts. They're like also losing all of those drones on the last mining base. He still has more, but yeah, he doesn't really, like, he can't really put those drones anywhere. Like, the worker counts are really low, but the thing is, it doesn't matter at this point because there are no bases to mine anyway. They're like trying to hit another mining base of DizzyDwarf. Try to destroy his economy as well, and we'll be able to take down that planetary. But he has to defend the bases of his own. And again, the Zerg is generally like almost designed around losing your forces, you know, like the whole point of the Zerg is that you have a lot of units that are fairly squishy, but you can just make a lot of them and you can just keep swarming your opponent. But yeah, now every unit counts. All those Zergis, all those Banelings lost, they actually count because it's increasingly hard to remake them. Undertaker is out of resources. He has basically no mining base. I guess technically this one is a mining base, but it's not a full base. So he has to push forward. He has to get damage done. Takes down the tank, but the bio is still standing. The ultras are struggling to get to the marines. The banings do connect. Is that enough? Did Undertaker take down the entire Terran army? Or is there more coming? I'm afraid there are still reinforcements. What can Undertaker do? He has nothing in production because he's so low on the resources that he's not really making anything. He has the Lynx and the Ultras. And with that one Viper for support. Drones are trying to just straight up steal the minerals. Not even trying to set up a base anymore. And the last ultras are starting to die down to the Terran army in that desperate attack. GG is called. DizzyDwarf will be taking game number 1 after 35 minutes of Eldorado. What a game. This was game 1 of a best of 5. Oh boy, we're gonna be here for a while. Now, what has the chat been saying for the past half hour? Okay, hold on. I need to start writing down the maps because I may actually forget what we already played. But yeah, Captainfisch is saying it was so nice when I had a good early game against Geralt that I lost minutes after that. I mean, I've been there. I remember it was years ago. Just game for last minute. I remember years ago I had a game like that versus Neeb, and it was back when he wasn't even all that popular. And the thing is that like for like solid like 10 minutes like nothing was going on, and I'm like, oh, this is going pretty well, and then I just saw an army of void rays flying across the map. I was like, oh, that's what happened. So yeah, that's a thing. That's one of my memories of playing open tournaments. Okay, our players are ready. I'm less ready, but let's go. Hold out until the Hyperion arrives. Yes. Okay. 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 So we are now on Ultra Low, where in the bottom left corner we have our blue Terran player representing SCQ and Poland. It is DizzyDwarf. And across the map we have our yellow Zerg player. We don't know what clan he's representing, but he is from Taiwan. It is Undertaker. Going for a hatch first. Well, I assume we will get a Reaper expand from DizzyDwarf, but we will see. And I see the chat has been informing Mingi. I guess that's how you call it? That's how you read it? But yeah, we have our tournaments. There are 2 monthly tournaments for amateur players and 2 tournaments for professional players, or open to everyone. But you know, they are directed, they're dedicated towards the pro players. So you have to keep in mind that you will probably face someone who is really good at the game. Mutas, maybe. Let's go Broodlords for viewers. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, that is true. I have noticed that Dizzy did not try to use snipes on the ultras. That is true. I was kind of surprised about that. But I mean, you know, when you have like these big armies, sometimes it's difficult to get your spellcasters out. Because essentially, at that point, like Ghost is a spellcaster. In a way. DizzyDwarf, I have bad news. The Hyperion is going to take a while longer. It got a flat tire. Oh no! As once again, DizzyDwarf is going for the Turax. 2-1-1, it is. Did get a Reaper across the map to scout out the opponent. He sees the third base, so he knows that there's nothing too cheeky coming from Undertaker. See some Terrans in the chat are quite happy about the last game and the win for DizzyDwarf. But yeah, chat is saying that like this must be nerve-wracking for the players. And I mean, I'm sure it is, but at the same time, in the in-game chat, they said that it was a fun game. Like, they actually enjoyed the fact that this was like, you know, such a back and forth that they were fighting until the last mineral on the map, basically. As the Reaper does get sniped by those Zerglings. So yeah, like, the players themselves also enjoyed how close of a game that was. And we'll see what they bring us in game number 2. We'll see if it will be another half-an-hour game. Although, I don't know if Ultra Love is a map that's like encouraging that, as Eldorado was a bit more funky. It's like DC has taken some advice from Fish about talking. I mean, look. So Undertaker is trying to get ready for the double medivac drop that will be coming for this dwarf. He did scout the Turax. He did scout the build. So he knows that something is coming, but does he know where it's coming? Trying to find out, but Marines are just on the edge of the creep. Now they are coming on top of creep. And now Undertaker is sure. Now he can see the Medivacs. He'll try to go towards it. He's trying to chase the Marines with the Zerglings, although that's, you know, it's a bit tricky because Zerglings are not ideal against Marines. See, with the Queens to support, this is enough to chase those Medivacs away, and it looks like for now at least Undertaker will not be taking any damage. He even surrounds the Marines as they unload outside of the base. Look, I am tired, okay? I am tired. Words, they don't have any meaning anymore. DizzyDwarf cleaning some creep here. Destroying the bot. Shaking my head. Those players, always messing with the critters. Yes, at the same time Undertaker is able to take his 4th base. He's also working on bending speed. And Hydra then. At the same time, the 3rd base of DizzyDwarf is set up and it's time for him to move out with another force, another double Medivac drop essentially. As the first one has still not been cleaned up completely, so it's still taking the attention of Undertaker. I almost called him Ultra Love. Oh boy. And the second double Medivac drop is now at the 4th base, and Undertaker has to split forces, but does he have enough? This 4th base is in danger. And so is the 3rd, actually. Yeah, the drones are starting to fall. There are no defenses here. The Queens are now joining in, but as they are, the main base is in danger at the same time. Oh, this is so close. It looks like just barely this drop will not be cleaned up, but I think, yeah, the one at the 3rd base was. And the 2 Medivacs did go down, so at least one of the drops was cleared, but that was a bit of a stressful situation there for Undertaker, as his forces were spread out thin. And next thing that DizzyDwarf is working on is the Liberators. Meanwhile, this Marine force is still here now with more Medivacs as well. But we have Lingbane to defend. We have some nice connections. One of the Medivac goes down as well. There are no Hydras to help dealing with the drops. Oh, and the Liberators also reveal themselves as they chase the Overlord. It looks like DizzyDwarf doesn't even want them for harassment, but actually they will be part of the main force. At the same time though, Lingbane does clean most of the army of the Terran. It's just this bio left over. The tanks are gone, but at the same time Zerg does not have a lot left from his army himself. The hatchery on the 4th base does go down. So nice pick of that. That also supply blocks Undertaker, so he's not able to remake reinforcement at the moment. At the same time, DizzyDwarf ramping up the production, getting more barracks, getting more Marines, getting more Marauders. Building up his army, getting ready for the 4th expansion as well. I guess the 3rd expansion, 4th base. Meanwhile, the main army is trying to set up a position right over here. The 1st tank is joining in. I think he is trying to get into the setup, but yeah, I don't think it will be easy. There's not that many units from our Zerg player. The Hydras are not able to deal with this much bio. I mean, they have good DPS, but not good enough, as the Marines are marching forward. The Bannings are not finished, but they are about to be. Looks like some of them will be focused, and the rest of them mostly don't connect with all that much. I mean, Marauders did also take most of the hits, so there are still Marines left over, and that is enough. DizzyDwarf will be taking game number 2. So GG there. DizzyDwarf this time put on a lot of pressure on Undertaker, and Undertaker was not quite able to take it. But this is not the end yet, as this is of course a best of 5 series. Checking if I changed the title and everything. Let's go for game number 3. Welcome to game number 3 on King's Cove LES. We are currently in the finals of Master Swan Open number 88, and in the bottom right corner of the map we have the first of our players. It is the yellow Zerg player from Taiwan. It is Undertaker. And across the map we have our blue Terran player currently leading 2-0 in the series, only needs one more win to take the entire tournament, the entire monthly. It is the Polish player from SCQ, DizzyDwarf. It's like once again going for that Reaper expand most likely, as our Zerg player is going for the hatch first. So I expect more of the same in terms of opening, but we'll see where we go from there. Because, I mean, both of our players are generally macro players from what we could tell so far. Although Undertaker did have a link flood game, but that was a ZVZ. So I don't expect Undertaker to get too cheesy either. Yeah, we'll see how that goes in the first game once again. Undertaker cannot lose a single map from now on if he wants to take this tournament potentially. Meanwhile, DizzyDwarf only needs one more point, so he has a bit more room for experimentation if he wants to. Undertaker once again going for 3 bases before speed. I say that, but this isn't normal. Yeah, it's really normal, Kuro. Although I think that this third base is slightly early. But that said, the timings have changed a bit, because obviously the hatcheries are now less expensive. For those who don't know, ever since the new patch, the hatcheries are no longer 300. So I guess the timings have gotten a bit earlier as well, as now Zergs are able to do so. Reaper of course scouts the situation, sees the bases have been taken. Make sure that there's no like hidden roach warren or anything, but yeah, it doesn't appear to be, as looks like we will have another straightforward game from both of our players. This time DizzyDwarf not going for a 2-on-1 but 1-1-1 instead. We do not have that second Rax, we do not have those extra marines in production. Instead we have currently Hellions on the way. So a little bit different. And let's see how it goes. And the Hellions are amassing. Together with the Reaper, they will be going across the map. And ooh, do you see what I see? Well, Captainfisch, good to see you back because you are just in time for a fusion core. So yeah, DizzyDwarf changing up a bit, quite indeed. We have not seen that yet from him today. Meanwhile, the Hellions are trying to get into the bases. The first base is protected by the Queen, the second is protected by the Zerglings, so it doesn't look like there will be any damage done there. Two of the Hellions are going down already. But we have the first BC on the way. The BC is also queued to go across the map, so it will be scouted by this Overlord. But for now, it is still hidden. And we'll see how Undertaker reacts to that. I guess the Hyperion did arrive, and now it is part of DizzyDwarf's force. Even getting the Yamato for it as well. At the same time, Undertaker trying to deal with those Hellions. He has a lot of Zerglings by now, so he's able to trap some of them. But still, it's not easy to chase the Hellions with Zerglings. Like, Zerglings in the end do burn fairly easily. The Queens are here to help out as well. Undertaker is trying to take this fourth base as he keeps the Terran forces at bay. And the BC is out. It also shoots down the Overlord, as it does shoot while moving. So Undertaker is now fully aware of what is going on. He's trying to make spores. He doesn't have Hydras. There's no Hydra yet. The lair is still on the way. So he will have to defend with spores and queens. Most of the queens are in the front though, as they are busy dealing with the Hellions. Yamato is only a few seconds away. There's Yamato working great for sniping queens. And the Hellions are still keeping the queens busy right in front of the base. Now Undertaker is rotating. But is that enough? Is he in time? The BC is running into the natural base. The queens are here, so the BC will be taking a lot of damage. But it survives for now. At the same time as this is happening, as the BC is happening, we have mech on the way, we have also Zerglings in the third base, but we have mech, we have the blue flame on the way, we have the that thingies. Yes, that thing. As the queens are actually focusing the BC and it's trying to focus the point full, but that's not quite the... That was so close. He saves it! He saves the BC at 5 health, just barely is able to teleport out. I was trying to focus that spawning pool, but it's nowhere near dying there, so... I don't know if that was the greatest idea, maybe it was just a bit of a misclick or something. But we do have a Spire from Undertaker this time. I guess he will need some air units to deal with those BCs. The thing is, there are no BCs coming. Like, that was the single BC for harassment, and the rest of it is just mech. It's just Cyclones, it's just Hellions. As Steam would say, it's just McLaren. Meanwhile, the Zerglings are rolling straight into the natural base, or I guess they're running into the natural base. They see the army, they see the mech coming out. They also munch on some SCVs, but aren't able to do all that much before they do face the Hellions. And it really is the Hyperion, yeah. Because there's only one battlecruiser. So clearly, this must be Hyperion. Yeah, Undertaker working on the upgrades, getting that burrow as well. He's really fond of that. And getting a Bending Nest. I mean, I don't know how much Bending Nest we'll have versus the Hellions. But Zerglings are trying to surround this army, and they are catching quite a decent amount, but at the same time so many Zerglings are going down, and the mech army still stands. What does Undertaker have currently? I mean, what do we have? We have the Corruptors, we have the Zerglings. It's pretty much it. The Zerglings are trickling in. Will they be able to surround this army once again? They are able to get some of it. I mean, a lot of this army is already damaged, but as long as they survive, they can do more damage. And again, the blue flame is done. The Cyclones are here to support as well. I mean, Undertaker is making another wave of Zerglings, but this base will have to be forfeit. This mech army will eventually be cleaned up, as it was very low already, but there's the reinforcement. There's another wave. And even with the defender's advantage, I just don't think there's enough for Undertaker. GG is called. DizzyDwarf will be taking this game and the entire best of 5 series. As I quickly make sure that our players are on match arena. Ah, panic. There you go. But yeah, congratulations to DizzyDwarf, as he will be taking this match, this series, and this tournament with a 3-0 score in the finals. Very nicely done there. Pulling out the mech in game number 3 was definitely a very strong choice. And yeah, with that he will be taking this monthly tournament. Of course, Undertaker also played very well in this series. I mean, game 1 lasted 35 minutes. This is the last mining base. Just for those who might have missed it, like, game 1 was so close that I definitely recommend watching that if you want to see just how this series went. But yeah, Undertaker was really impressive this month as well, this tournament. So I'm looking forward to seeing both of those players in the next tournament to see how they improve, maybe how they play in the open pro tournaments. Because as a reminder, this is like a lower masters level tournaments, but like at this point, like, you know, you're so close to getting to that like semi-pro level. So, you know, maybe we will see them in some open tournaments as well. Maybe they will reach higher results, higher ranks in the months to come, to put it that way. As a reminder, of course, both of our finalists do get prize money. The first place is $10, the second place is $5, and we also have $5 for a random participant who this month was Cute. So Cute, if you hear this, make sure to join Matcherion as well, because you are eligible for that $5 prize. And yeah, so now, with that, as a reminder, Master Swan Open is a monthly tournament. It typically happens every month, like once a month. The date is not set in stone because it depends a lot on like which other tournaments are currently played. So we try to clash as little as possible with other events. Currently, as it stands, currently we have Master Swan Open 89 is planned for February 1st. So this is not in January. February 1st is planned for the first Master Swan Open of 2025. And that is because the entire January is Masters Colosseum as well as now Liuli Cup. And both of those tournaments are taking pretty much the entire January. Almost every day there is a tournament, one of those. So because we don't want to clash with other tournaments, we decided to push back our own events. And as well to take, you know, a little bit of a lighter month in that way. But yeah, so it looks like currently it looks like the next Master Swan Open will be February 1st. We are still debating which day. Actually, no, I think we have it set. I believe Ducklings Open, so our 4.2k MMR tournament, so basically Diamond tournament, will be February 15th. So that's 2 weeks after Master Swan Open. And we also, of course, we have the Open tournament. We have Sparkling Tuna Cup, which currently, according to the plan, will be returning on January 26th. And Tenacious Turtle Tassel, which is currently planned for January 16th. That's the earliest tournament we currently have planned. Of course, that schedule can still change, so keep in mind this is all like tentative dates. This is like, you know, what we planned more or less. But like we have more sure schedule like 4 weeks ahead, and the brackets are always made around 1 week before the tournament. So if you want to be notified about any of those tournaments, if you want to sign up for any of those tournaments, then make sure that you follow our socials. Our socials, of course, can be found in the chat. We have Twitter, we have X, we have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Mastodon, we have Blue Sky. Most importantly, we have our Discord. The Discord is where like all the up-to-date information is, because obviously on our socials we post when the tournament signups go live, but we also post like, you know, updates on scheduling in the Discord, like, you know, as they happen, so you can also keep track of the tournaments that way. So I definitely can recommend joining our Discord if you want to stay up to date on the tournaments. Other than that, our tournaments are of course funded via Patreon. So if you like to see those tournaments continue, if you like to see them grow bigger in the future, then make sure to check out our Patreon. Of course, if you know, only like contribute if you can spare the money, because everybody is on a tight budget, and we wouldn't like to put anyone in risky situations because they spend money on one thing or another. But like if you have some money to spare, then make sure to check out the Patreon. As you can see on the bottom of the screen, we are currently decently close to our next goal. Now, the next goal is at $400 per month. This is the per month goal. And the $400 per month will allow us to extend the prize pool of Sparkling Tuna Cup of our weekly open professional / semi-pro tournament, which is open to everyone. And once we reach that 400 goal, we will be able to award the prizes not only to the finalists, but also to the semi-finalists. So if you want to see that happen, then feel free to contribute to Patreon. Otherwise, follow us on our channels. The stream that you are currently seeing is simultaneously broadcasted to several channels. So you can watch us on Twitch, you can watch us on YouTube, but you can also watch us on Kick, you can watch us on TikTok, You can watch us on Facebook. Currently we have 5 channels available which are simultaneously broadcasting every stream. So if you have any preference, then feel free to check them out. Otherwise, yeah, I have been Kuro. I am still Kuro. You may otherwise know me as 16th Squad Sanseki as I appear in the chats, because that's my username. I'm generally the behind-the-scenes person of CranKy Ducklings. I'm usually not the one casting. Usually you will see Light VIP on this channel. But for the amateurs tournament, I do step up into the casting booth. So yeah, you will probably see me for the next amateur tournament. Maybe for House. House Galactic Battle is coming up, the House LAN in Poland, so I may also be casting that. But other than that, if you follow this channel, you will probably see more of light casting, and you can find me just in the Discord, you know, doing the behind the scenes stuff, like making all the brackets, making all the calendars, handling the socials, and so on and so forth. So yeah, I will be seeing you in the chat. Other than that, we will find some StarCraft channel to raid after this, so stay around if you want to join us with the raid. And yeah, I think that will be all. This is one of the last streams of 2024, so thank you for being here for this year. And as I look at the calendar, something to look forward to, because we have in this year still we have 2 more tournaments. We still have the Wordy Mondays and the Pigazar Monday. But we also have the Duckling Showdown. I will be posting the official announcements soon TM, but we will be having our end of year show matches on the 31st. So if you are interested in checking them out, they will be there. And yeah, look forward to that announcement, as we have some fun matches prepared for you as a way to conclude the year 2024 on CranKy Ducklings channel. And yeah, with that, I will see you guys later. Bye.